Hello, I'm Dynast Amir.
So I reached out to another friend of mine. I said, look, I need to go on vacation somewhere. Where should I go? He said, go to Africa. And not only am I going to go, I'm going to explore a new country. So I went to Tanzania, South Africa, Namibia, Mali, Senegal, Morocco, Liberia, Namibia, Kenya, the Voodoo Festival in Ouida, Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria. It's been a beautiful experience, just learning more about our culture, our indigenous culture. So Uhuru means freedom in Swahili. I'm in search of my roots. In finding that, I would experience my Uhuru, which is freedom.
Till next time, Dynast Amir, I'm out.
Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope you're Monday. That's right. Today is Monday. Shout out to brother Fitzgerald Stevens in the chat room, everyone. Shout out to brother Fitzgerald Stevens in the chat room, everyone. In fact, that reminds me, Fitzgerald. Hold on. That reminds me, Fitzgerald. You see that right there, Fitzgerald? You see that, Fitzgerald? Do you see that, Fitzgerald? Fitzgerald Stevens. Fitzgerald Stevens. Do you see that? Do you see that, Fitzgerald Stevens? What is that? What happened here, Fitzgerald? Tell the world, Fitzgerald, what happened. Do you see that, Fitzgerald Stevens? I got to remind Fitzgerald once in a while. I got to remind him. I got to remind him because he forgot. I think Fitzgerald forgot who the national champions are. I think Fitzgerald Stevens forgot who the national champions are. I think he forgot, Fitzgerald. I think he forgot. He forgot, Fitzgerald. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. I got down for the hurricane. Oh, that's right, y'all. Yeah, I'm petty. Listen, I'm Petty LaBelle. I'm Petty LaBelle. That's who I am. But guys, make sure. Oh, J Dilla, be quiet. All right, so brother, I got okay. Yeah, be careful, Joe. I know the hurricane is on its way, so make sure you be careful. Make sure you be careful, brother. Yeah, I keep it right here next to me. I keep the magazine right here next to me, just to let Fitzgerald know, just to remind him, because he needs to know. I just don't want Fitzgerald to forget. I don't want him to forget, because listen, it's going to be the same outcome this year. We running it back this year too. Again, we're going to run it back again this year. I'm the winner, University of Georgia. Fitzgerald Stevens is the loser, Alabama. Or as we say, Bammer. So yeah, man, I gotta remind him. Just in case he forgets. Just in case he forgets, I gotta remind him. So, anyways, let's get back on topic. All right, so guys, hit the like button again. If you're in the chat room and if you have not hit the like button, do me a favor, hit the like button. Also, too, guys, I gave you guys a special thank you this morning. I gave you guys a special thank you. I thanked all of my subscribers, everyone who has joined the tour, bought a t-shirt, super chatted, all that good stuff. I thanked you guys this morning. Just a special thanks for the support over the years. It means a whole lot. Thank you, family. Thank you, family. Thank you, family. Thank you, family. It really means a lot. And I wish some more of y'all was actually there this morning, because every morning we're going to do the Black Excellence Morning Affirmation. But I've been calling it motivation lately, but I really mean affirmation. You know, that's something that we're going to do every morning. And I thanked all y'all. Juanita, shout out to Juanita, everybody who helped me out with the Donfo site. In fact, let's go to the Donfo site right now. Well, first of all, let's start off with documentary. If you have not bought the documentary yet, again, if you have not bought the documentary yet, okay, I need you to go to Search for Uhuru. Okay, you got that bet. Hold on. No. Hold on, for sure. Okay, here we go. I got $100 that will win, and I got $100 that you don't win, and that Alabama's not gonna win. So at the end of the season, if neither of us win a national championship, we cancel it out. If one of us win the national championship, whoever the winner is get $100. Guys, I want y'all to listen. I want everybody to take note of this day and what's on the screen, because I don't want Fitzgerald talking about some, oh, brother, I'll get you some, we'll get some Chick-fil-A sandwiches. You know, Fitzgerald is the king of when he bets, he want to bet Chick-fil-A sandwiches. I don't know why. Fitzgerald want to bet Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Nah, Fitzgerald, we bet $100. We call him, Fitzgerald, you don't get out of Steve. No, you don't forget, Fitzgerald. You don't forget, Fitzgerald. I'm just saying, I don't want no Chick-fil-A sandwiches, Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, for some reason, he like to bet Chick-fil-A. That's his thing. He want to bet Chick-fil-A. We ain't betting no Chick-fil-A sandwiches, Fitzgerald. I want my $100 when we win, okay? That's what I want. I want my $100, all right? All right, so listen, if you have not bought the documentary, Search for Uhuru. Because I'm gonna give you $100 bill and be done with it, okay? Now you're not getting your paper rolls or quarters. You're gonna get $100 bill and be done with it, okay? But give you $100 and no, in fact, I'm not giving you nothing because you ain't winning. You're gonna give me $100 because we're gonna win. So, guys, if you have not bought the documentary In Search of Uhuru, again, if you have not bought the documentary In Search for Uhuru, if you are watching this, again, if you are watching this right now, if you have not bought the documentary, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com. Make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary, family. Again, make sure you go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. I greatly appreciate it. I will greatly appreciate it, family. So go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Also, once you do that, okay, once you've done that, you got to go to downfo.africa. Again, you got to go to downfo.africa. Shout out to Dollar Bill. Why you ain't bought it yet, man? Dollar Bill, are you the same Dollar Bill that I've always talked to on Instagram? Dollar Bill, are you the same Dollar Bill that I always talk to on Instagram? If so, why haven't you not bought the documentary yet? But listen, you're always at the right place at the right time. So we're not gonna give you a hard time today. So thank you. but make sure you go and buy the documentary. Also, make sure you visit donfo.africa. Please visit donfo.africa. We are rolling to Sierra Leone. Again, we are rolling to Sierra Leone in November. In less than 2 months, we are rolling to Sierra Leone, and we would love to have you in Sierra Leone November 20th through December 3rd, November 20th through December 3rd. And listen, citizenship is available. Again, citizenship is available. Hey, Q Butter, did you email me talking about you wanted to do a show? It was either you or was the other brother, but I think it was you, Q Butter. It was either you or was it somebody else? And I meant to respond back or responded back. I don't remember. But Q Butter, if it was you, go ahead and pencil me down for this week. Okay, pencil me down for this week, Q Butter. Go ahead and pencil me in for this week. You know, we can do it tomorrow. Just let me know what time. Just email me. My bad. I meant to respond back, and I don't know. Sorry about that. So again, Donfo.Africa. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Does Nigeria have a drug problem? Yes, there are. There is a lot of drugs that is being imported into Nigeria, unfortunately. You know, there is. Got to take accountability. I think Nigerian police is doing a good job by the amount of dope that they. Hold on, guys. This thing's not clear. By the amount of dope that they intercept, I would say that they are doing a good job. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely dope being smuggled into Nigeria, unfortunately. One second. Oh, this thing seems like it's not clear. There we go. Yeah, so there is a lot of dope that's unfortunately being smuggled into Nigeria through the ports, through the airports, through the Sahel. So yeah, it's what it is, man. It's what it is. But I say this: Nigerian police, they're doing what they can to shut it down. So yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. Hit that like button. Please hit the like button. Listen, I want to give this disclaimer, all right, from the beginning, from the onset. All right. Just because I'm not going to vote for Stacey Abrams, I'm not voting for Stacey Abrams, okay? Not going to vote for her. That does not mean that I don't like black women. And I think that is the reason why, all of a sudden now, you see the left starting to kind of, I would say, pressure and guilt black men into voting for Stacey Abrams because they already know that for the most part, there's a lot of black men who aren't voting for Stacey Abrams. And you know what? You need to blame Kamala Harris. Simone Sanders, she was the loudest and wrongest. She left the White House early after all the talking she did. But you need to blame Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has done a terrible job while in the White House and has given a preview of what a state that is ran and operated by a system might look like. Yeah, I don't know why they ran Stacey Abrams again. Like, she lost that momentum. Like, she kind of had. Let me say this: if the governor election in Georgia happened right after the presidential election, or even right before the presidential election, Stacey Abrams had a shot. She had a shot because she mobilized like crazy. Her ground game is on point. But now, it's just the The excitement's no longer there. And you see what people's going through. You look at Kamala Harris, and people are like, I'm good. You know, every time Stacey Abrams is asked specifically what she's going to do, I mean, you're in Georgia, you in Atlanta. You and Georgia, so Stacey Abrams is running for governor. Herschel Walker's running for Senate. So yeah, whatever. But every time you see Stacey Abrams and they ask specifically what she's gonna do for Black people, she literally said on one of her interviews that she cannot speak specifically to Black people, or why a lot of politicians don't speak specifically to Black people, because they are afraid of offending other races of people. She said that. Yeah, I mean, Democrats just don't have anything tangible to offer Black men. And it's damn near the Democratic Party is weaponizing Black women against Black men. If you don't vote for Stacey Abrams, you don't like Black women. Oh, you like Kevin Samuels. Like, listen, Kevin Samuels has been dead for 3 months now. This man lives rent-free in people's heads, Kevin Samuels. But yeah, I'm not voting for Stacey Abrams. I'm not. Hey, man, listen, I'll say this. If you could vote for Joe Biden, you could vote for Herschel Walker. If you could vote for Joe Biden, you could vote for Herschel Walker. You can. So leave Herschel Walker alone. Leave that brother alone. And listen, Herschel Walker got a shot. Herschel Walker has a chance. Kevin, listen, guys, I got to post this quote. Kevin Samuels and Donald Trump, biggest boogeymen for Black women. Man, I mean, these two, Kevin Samuels and Donald Trump. And let me say this, not all Black women, okay? But the ones that they put out in front that they have chose to lead the Black community and lead this Black feminist movement, they are scared. You know what, Liz? Of Kevin Samuels and Donald Trump. And listen, Kevin Samuels has been there for almost 3 months now, and Donald Trump has been out of office now. He has been out of office. He's not in office. He's been out of office almost 2 years now. Yeah, they celebrated Kevin Samuels' death like it was Satan himself. It's weird. Yeah, I might run for Georgia governor. But yeah, but listen, nothing against Stacey Abrams. It's just she might be for you, but she's not for me. I'm good. I'm good on Stacey Abrams. And like I said, the guys, let me tell you what's going on. And this is going to offend a lot of people. And listen, I don't want to turn this into a gender war. I don't want to do that. I don't want to turn this into a gender war or this gender battle. I don't want to do that. Kamala Harris, highest office in the land for a Black woman in the history of this country and the history of politics. And she's doing a terrible job. So I'm telling you, the left is starting to rethink things. They're starting to rethink things. They're like, this ain't working out. I'm just being honest. They're like, listen, we gotta rethink this. It's not about gender. It's about right or wrong. No, you're right. It is about right or wrong, but if you notice in the media, they're really focused on gender. So you could be completely wrong. Again, you could be completely wrong. But right now, they're giving the nod to the strong black woman. That's what they're doing right now. But you could be completely wrong, but they're giving a nod to the so-called strong black woman. So that's why you have Kamala. That's why you got Stacey Abrams, which I just Stacey Abrams ain't gonna win. She lost some momentum. She lost some momentum. And like I said, with Kamala Harris, and again, I don't want to sound misogynistic. Is that how you say the word? That how you say the word misogynistic? Yeah, I don't want to sound misogynistic, but Kamala Harris is not a good look for the black sisterhood. I'm sorry. Again, Kamala Harris is not a good look for the black sisterhood. Especially when all the sisters she's hired, damn near, they're all misogynistic. Yeah, whatever. She's not a good look for the sisterhood. I'm sorry. She's not. Just like we call out brothers who ain't a good look for us. Again, like we call out brothers who ain't a good look for us, for black men. We call out these deadly clowns every day. Yeah, misogynistic. Okay, whatever. We call out these deadly clowns every day. Kamala Harris is a deadly clown. Okay. And she's making you sisters look very bad. Because y'all strolled to the polls. You took your booty to the polls. You did this to the polls, that to the polls. She has not been a good look. All right, so listen, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, click on the link. If you want to call in, click on the link. But what I'm saying is this year, this time around, as far as for the when it comes to the election for the next governor of Georgia, trying to guilt black men like they guilted a lot of black men. There's a lot of black men who was guilted in this. Listen, they really did that. Take your booty to the polls. They did a whole. Hold on, let's play. Hold on 1 second. Y'all think I'm playing? This is a real thing. Take your booties to the polls. Hold on 1 second. But they guilted a lot of black men to go vote for Biden when they knew better. What I'm saying is it's not going to work this time around. Again, they guilted a lot of black men to go take their booties to the polls and vote for Biden. It's not going to work this time around. I mean, y'all heard brothers talk about they had to vote for Joe Biden because their grandmama said that they couldn't come to Thanksgiving dinner. They couldn't have turkey dinner if they didn't vote for Joe Biden. I mean, grown-ass men. Grown-ass men were saying that they had to vote for Biden because they needed to keep peace in the house. Grown-ass men literally said they had to vote for Biden because they grandmama said they couldn't come eat Thanksgiving dinner. They'll get banned from the house if they didn't vote for Joe Biden. I think those days are over. I think these weak bums, these weak brothers who got punked into doing something they didn't want to do. And listen, the black community is the only community. I'm saying, let me be specific. The black American community is the only community where I would hear a grown-ass man say that they got to keep peace in the house, so they got to vote a certain way. Or that their grandma ain't gonna let them come eat turkey dinner if they don't vote a certain way. I only hear that in the Black American ADOS FBA community. Shit is weird. But anyways, we got to gas them up. Come on, gas them up. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, gas them up.
Hey, what's going on, Dynast?
Yo, what's good, bro? Go ahead.
So yeah, look, man. Basically, you pretty much been saying it all. Like Nigeria's gonna have an election, right? My question to you is: do you think that Nigerian men are gonna sit there and say anything about their wives telling them if they don't vote a certain way that they can't have peace or they can't do anything? And I'll be honest, no shot at you, but you do it sometimes too. I want to hear the woman's opinion, and I'm just like, it's no disrespect to women, but why do you need to hear? Go ahead.
Hold on. So I have a platform. So the women are more than welcome to come in, and I like to hear their opinion. That doesn't mean I'm going to listen to it. That doesn't mean they're going to talk to me any type of way. But hey, listen, they're more than I want everybody to participate. I put the link in the chat room for a reason. I want people to call in, and I want everybody to participate, men and women. That goes for the men. You're more than welcome to call in and give your opinion. That doesn't mean I'm gonna listen, but hey, this is an open platform. It's an open floor. I believe in balance, but if I disagree with you, I'm gonna let you know. And
no, I'm not saying that you don't have an open platform. I'm saying in reference to conversations about masculinity and things of that nature. And again, there's nothing wrong with having conversations with women, and women should shut up and not talk. No, I'm not saying anything like that. But
right. Yes, but real quick, not to cut you off again. Audrey Kimmy says something in the chat room. She's correct. This isn't a technically this is not a red pill manosphere channel. It's not. This is not that.
But I'm not here for red pill manosphere, Dynast. I'm not.
Again, women are more than welcome to call in and give their opinion. I have no problem.
But they know that already. Right. They know that, and what I'm saying is again, Dynast. What I'm saying is this: when it comes to topics and conversations on masculinity, I'm not saying that women shouldn't call in. No one's saying that. I have a channel. Women call in. My co-host is a woman, right? Shout out to her, Tanzan. What I'm saying, though, is this. When it comes to topics of masculinity, I am challenging and pushing for the black men in America to stop listening to the women in their community. Do what the hell you want to do. A woman cannot tell you what it is to be a man. She doesn't have balls. A woman doesn't have testicles. So women say, some women will come on the panel, and I'll end with this. They'll come on the panel and they'll say, oh, you sound hurt. Oh, you sound weak. Oh, you're not a real man. And I'm like, great. I don't care what you think about masculinity because you don't know what it's like to be a man. Like the Drake said, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. Until you out there in the trenches with me, then I might consider your opinion. But if you're not out there in the trenches with me, especially on topics of masculinity, it's crazy that you got grown men will say, oh, I want to know what the women think. Why the hell is she a man? No, she's not a man. She can't tell you what it is to be a man, but that's just my thing. And so when it comes to this Stacey Abrams thing, again, black men are being bullied and cajoled into voting for this, ephemeral nonsense of it's blackness or it's black women's rights and all this other stuff. And like you said, what are they really doing for black men? What are they doing for the black community? When you start asking these questions, because I've had conversations with black women. I was on the Swahili Nation podcast and I was talking with an African-American woman. I said, hey, can you tell me 3 things Donald Trump did that was terrible to black people specifically? She couldn't answer anything. She couldn't give me one thing. I said, give me 3 specific things that Donald Trump did. And I'm not a Trump fan. I don't care Republican or Democrat. But I said, sister, please give me 3 things that Donald Trump did during his presidency that affected black people. She couldn't answer it. So at that point, as black men in America, if you are following women like that, I got to stop listening to them. It doesn't mean you're sexist. Doesn't mean it's red pill. Doesn't mean it's manosphere. A guy from freaking Yemen doesn't care what his women think. The guys in Afghanistan don't sit there and say, I wonder what the women think. Of course they do. They want to make sure that women are taken care of. But when it comes time for male issues, they're not sitting down there consulting with women about that. Even if you go to the village, you have women's associations and you have men associations. I can't put on a bra. No disrespect to anybody. I can't put on a bra and join my grandmother's women's association in her village and say, I feel like one of you. They're going to laugh in my face. They're going to say, gas them up. Have you ever had a period? Do you know what a period feels like? Do you know what it feels like to put, what do you call it? The Tampax inside your vagina? That's what they're going to ask me. I said, no, I don't know what it's like. So again, why do we keep in this country? Why is it that we got to always hear what the so-called women got to think? That's not sexist. And the crazy thing, and I end with this last sentence, white men don't even follow that. White boys run their household. So I'm just saying, I hope black men don't fall for the okie doke and do what you want. What are they going to do? Complain? Cry? Boo-hoo? Who cares? They'll get over it. That's just my little 3 cents on that.
Okay, go ahead, Jughead. Unmute yourself.
Dynas, brother, thank you for having me on your platform. Dynas, welcome. Gassamont, welcome, brother. And the chat, Trina Jackson, welcome, sister. I presume it's a sister. Yeah, look, Dynas, as you know, I'm not FBA, but as an interested observer,
Go ahead.
I'll put my points in. I'll agree with Gassamont 20%. Look, women should not be telling black men what to do. Okay, it's very, especially that tone of that scolding fishwife tone. It's very disrespectful to black men. I don't like it at all. You know, if you want to give advice, but don't scold and cajole and nag. We don't need that at all from our sisters. We need support. Or back us up or get out of the way. That's my agenda. And regarding Stacey Abrams and her type, people like Kundalini, all these other idiots, Stacey Abrams, all the other bedwenchers, look, their tone is not appreciated by us. Tell us about sort of films like the Woman King, all this black man stand place, wagging their fingers. Don't do that. Because as Gaston said, other men of ethnic groups, don't let their women lead them. That's where they're successful. Look, for black men to get successful, we have to think like men. Patriarchy works. Call me sexist, I don't care. Patriarchy works. Okay, we have to get to full strong male leadership. That doesn't mean that women are up there to say, no, that's not saying that at all. But other groups are led by the men. You don't find nations by female. You will never find that history. You will never find, strong women leaders in the past. Yeah, individuals like Queen Nzinga, Boudica, Yaya Santawa, but they're few and far between. Nations are built by the men. Infrastructure, land, infrastructure, nationhood. That's what it will take. It's been led by the men. So people like Stacey Abrams, stay in your place. If you want to give advice, give advice. But stop nagging and cajoling. We don't need that nonsense. Either support us or step out the way.
Go ahead, Trina. Go ahead, Trina.
I just want to say this. With the Democrats, the liberals, it's really not a gender war with me. I personally think they're not doing anything for the black community in general. And that's why I didn't vote for them. I didn't vote from the last election because when Obama got in office the first time, I was like, okay. Second time he ran and he was talking about the same stuff, I said, no. I mean, the liberals to me are about immigrants and LGBTQ issues. I mean, about 80% of Black Americans in this country went and voted for the Democrats. Where's our reparations? And we still can't get access to capital to start businesses. And they're helping
reparations ain't coming. It ain't coming. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. They're not helping Black America. They're helping everybody else, giving all the money to the immigrants and everybody else. But they're not doing nothing to help us. So why should I vote for a party that completely is telling Black people, we don't care nothing about you? And they don't. That's all I have to say.
Okay, go. Thank you, sister. Go ahead, focus, man. Unmute yourself.
Hey, Dynas, how's it going?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Pretty good. Big fan of yours, man. I've been watching you for years, man. Travel all throughout Africa. You showed me how, like, you know what I mean, how to make your own way and make your money and just go out there and enjoy your life, man. I salute you.
I appreciate it. Brother, what are your thoughts on the documentary?
Well, at this point, man, I really believe that this political agenda was basically
No,
made
no, no,
to
no, 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 no. I said the documentary. What are your thoughts on the documentary?
document which one.
The one I put out, my documentary.
You know what? I haven't caught that one. I didn't catch the documentary. I didn't catch that one.
Oh, you
I
got to
didn't.
go buy the documentary.
I will buy that one, but I'm gonna be
You
real. I
gotta do
did
a
watch.
PSA right now. Dynast, drop it right now. This is perfect opportunity. Put the
You got it.
camera up in the link.
Man, how did you not know about the doc? No, but I'm serious. When I hear people say that they follow me, they've been a follower for years, and then if I drop the product or service, and they say they didn't know about it, like that means I'm dropping the ball in regards, and I'm not telling people enough to go buy the documentary. So, guys, we're gonna hold on. Give me 20 seconds. We gotta have a commercial break. I need everyone. If you have not bought the documentary, again, if you have not bought the documentary, I need you right now to go to searchforuhuru.com. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Again, go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. If you have not bought the documentary yet, go to searchforuhuru.com and buy the documentary. Okay. All right. Go ahead,
Tell
bro.
them to
Go ahead.
share on the WhatsApp, on the Instagram, all their social media handles.
What?
I said tell them to share it on all their social media handles, especially their WhatsApp and their WhatsApp
Absolutely.
group and all that stuff.
Yeah, share all that stuff. Share it all. Once you buy it, you need to share it to everybody. All right, go ahead, Focus Man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say for the past like 40 to 50 years, the Democrats have basically made black women their own political demographic, and they basically ignored black men at the expense of LGBT and the feminist agenda. Now you're starting to see black men become vocal and give our opinions on different issues on social media within the past 5 or 6 years. So basically, what's taking place right now, black men are starting to pivot and show our own political interest that is separate from the mainstream black American women. And this is important at this time. I think it's very important because Stacey Abrams has done everything to show black men that she's anti-family, that she is more so LGBT based than she is black. And I think that if black men can start holding political leverage in this aspect, as far as like being the tiebreaker, our population in America isn't that high, but we can serve as the tiebreaker between the Democrats and the Republicans. But they have to deliver tangibles. I'm happy. I'm very happy because at no point in history have black men been able to communicate across the country and even across the world and basically brainstorm. We can start having think tanks on our political interest locally, how we can push against illegal immigration from south of the border. These are all different political ideas that the Democrats want to keep us silenced on. Straight black men, they want us completely silenced and basically pushed out the way. So this is an opportunity, guys. I mean, this is a huge opportunity for black men to specifically put our interest on the table and to put our agenda on the table. And it has to be opposite of these black feminist and LGBT folks.
I agree. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yes, hi everyone.
Hey.
I didn't catch the beginning of your broadcast, but I caught it when Gaston was speaking. And I agree with Gaston to a degree. I do believe that any community really works better when men are leading, but there's nothing wrong with having advisors. You don't have everybody as advisor. If you have a wise woman who's in your corner as an advisor, then you can take what she's saying into consideration. Not only what's her name, Stacey Abrams, there was this other one, she was on, I think, MSNBC. I saw a clip where that I'm sorry, somebody said something, her name.
I forgot. I know you're talking about. I know exactly.
Yeah. Which she was very, very disrespectful. Like, but yeah. So the same kind of like black man wagging finger rhetoric is starting again. And I don't get it. Me personally, and I feel really bad to say this. Because as a woman, you're kind of fed continuously, woman empowerment, X, Y, and Z. I don't want no woman leading me. I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible to say it, but I just don't, because when I see the whole transformer agenda, which was ushered in by women, when I see the abortion agenda, when I see the state of the community, that don't work. I would rather have Black men in roles of leadership. I don't think you should be asking to be a leader. They have a Jamaican saying that if you see a donkey, ride it. If you choose to be somebody donkey, they're gonna ride you. If you in a position where somebody is saying you can't come to the family.
Chris, her name was Tiffany Cross. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, Tiffany Cross. Yes, she was very, very disrespectful. And very condescending. And to me, she should have been shut down right then and there. But it's just like, you don't ask people for leadership. Whatever you think is the right thing to do, you do. That's just period. And those who have sense will follow, and those who don't have sense will get wrapped up in somebody else's manipulation. But that's just how I feel about it. I'm personally just kind of tired of the Black woman in front, Black man behind narrative. I think that has to change, but I think Black men have to change it. And you, to an extent, I agree with Gaston, just not give a damn what anybody else says, and just move forward in the way you feel to move forward. If they don't like you, then to hell with them. That's just how I see it.
All right, T. Khalid, go ahead, bro.
Hey, man, my question is FBA men understanding this? Because it just seems like a small percentage of Black men are talking about this. I don't think the majority of FBA men are going to switch parties or abstain. I feel like they get shamed and they never fight back. Even on that panel with
we got some soft ass men in our community.
We do, man. And I was talking about this the other day, how even with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, man, this is a movement led by lesbian women who made it clear before they changed their statement that they didn't want Black men involved in that at all. In fact, they wanted Black men to be removed in a family. But yet FBA men are still marching behind lesbian women with their shirts, hands up, don't shoot, and giving them all this money and support and yelling Black Lives Matter. So the thing is, are FBA men going to wake up? That's the question. And to be honest, man, with the way the family structures is and no men in a home, I think a lot of FBA men are comfortable letting women lead and, women tell them what to do. And if these women tell them, hey, you need to get in line and vote for the Democrats, I don't think FBA men are going to push back. Like, I mean, just look at our Black mainstream platforms like the Breakfast Club. Why isn't Charlamagne pushing back and saying, hey, you're not going to talk to us like that. You're not going to tell us how to vote. You're going to put a platform in front of us.
T, he kind of did to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris started, rolling her neck and flipping her hair and snapped on her. You remember that?
Yeah. No, you're right. I remember that part, but I just feel like it's just it needs the pushback needs to be heard by much more Black men. I hate relying on Black celebrity men, but I feel like, especially when it comes to FBA, we only want to come out in favor of the Democrats. But when there's a situation like this, the men with the platforms typically just stay quiet. And that's the frustrating thing about it.
Yeah, I agree. Guys, hit that like button. But no, Charlamagne the guy's been kind of, he'll say something here and there. And then, of course, they'll put
Did you see his Joe Biden interview? What did he say when he was talking to Master Joe?
Which one was this? When was this?
When you said you ain't Black.
Okay, you ain't Black. Yeah. And listen, still voted for him.
Exactly. It's that type of disrespect. It's like it's that disrespect to your face, and then you still go vote for them, and then you still fight for them. Like Charlamagne's a clown, and I honestly think and yeah, he does do pushback. I am agree with that, but I believe it's weak pushback. It's the same with P. Diddy. You remember in 2020 when P. Diddy was like, hold the vote, we're going to put the vote for hostage. And then I think like a month before the election, he switches to, and we don't vote for the Democrats. It's going to be a civil race war. And let's vote for them first and then push a Black agenda. Just weak. They came. So what was all this dancing and holding the vote? I think he got whipped. Or I think there were some higher up liberals who forced him to switch his tune.
Yeah, hey, listen, guys. All I know is people keep bringing up Donald Trump. Listen, I live in Atlanta. Donald Trump came to Atlanta, right? No script, no nothing. Said, listen, I got $500 billion. What y'all want to do? Black folks said, then listen, Joe Biden went on to Breakfast Club. Joe Biden was half asleep during the whole interview. Half asleep, Sleepy Joe. He was half asleep during the whole interview. Then Charlemagne asked him a question. He woke up, leaned into the camera, and said, listen, you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Then went back to sleep. I mean, he woke up, like he woke up, was sitting down, he was asleep. He woke up, looked dead into the camera, and said, you don't vote for me, you ain't black, went back to sleep.
What about Kamala?
So you guys tell me what was the better deal. And listen, this is the thing. I understand what you say about Donald Trump. I know some of y'all don't like him. Listen, America is a corporation, is a business. When it comes to business, from if you are a businessman, leave all the emotional stuff out of it. Okay. When it comes to a business decision, what did you have to lose by voting for Donald Trump? He said, listen, I got $500 billion. What y'all want to do? What you got to lose? Again, Joe Biden was asleep, half sleep.
What Dynasty, think about what they would lose. You know what would lose? Black female authority. Black female authority would no longer be empowered. No, I'm serious.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right.
But the thing is, black men don't even have to, the thing is, I don't blame black women for voting Democrat. I'm going to tell you why, man. It's because at least they get represented in some way. They get pandered to, they get positions in the Democratic Party, they get, black women's issues funded. Even though it doesn't benefit the black man, I understand why black women would vote for Democrats. I mean, they get their issues met. What I don't understand is why black men do it. It just makes let's say even if the majority of black men just stop voting altogether, the Democrats would crumble, but they won't do it. That's the problem. Like, there's no point even talking to black women about it, and there's no disrespect. Like I said, I understand why black women do it. If I was a black woman, I'd probably vote Democrat too. But black men, it makes no sense. It puts us in a feminine, submissive position where we don't demand anything, where we sit back, we get told what to do. I would say mostly FBA men. I'm not going to put that on the immigrant African men because, like I see, most of them are the ones talking about policy issues with holding your vote. But it just seems like the FBA men are just like, vote for Democrats because we are afraid of these white slave masters, supremacist Republicans putting us back in chains. That's the problem, man.
It starts with conversations like this and little think tanks like this Dynasty guy is holding when we can get on these panels and talk to FBA, because I'm FBA myself. And once you start challenging the policies and the logic one-on-one with these black guys that are FBA on these panels and you bring them to that light, they're going to go out on their daily routine and they're not going to say nothing, but they're going to be in these ghettos and these hoods and they're going to start connecting the dots. So listen, once you get these FBA black guys in these circles, they may be resistant at first, but when they log off and they go into these neighborhoods, they're going to start connecting dots. So it's only a matter of time. And that's what I think a lot of these feminists are concerned about. It's either you know about this red pill stuff or when are you going to find out about it? Those are the two things. So when they see black guys, they're like, all right, are you red pill yet? And if you're not, it's only a matter of time before you're hit with this manosphere stuff. So listen, FBA men are going to make this pivot. And the more guys like you, because I heard your live streams also in the past, more guys like you that get on there and you shoot the breeze and you give them that straight dope like you do and the Dynasty does, trust me, man, the tide is going to turn. My question is once the powers to be realize and see that, hey, these black dudes woke up, they know the trick bag, they're not going to go into this trick bag again. how do we silence these guys? Are they going to do a new crime bill to lock us up again? How are they going to try to silence us? Because once you wake up, you're not going to go back to sleep. And they're going to say, listen, if these guys aren't going to follow our beating drum and they're going to do their own thing, we don't want that. So it's like, that's what we got to think about the most. It's like basically when these feminists realize we're not going to go back on the plantation and take their bull crap anymore or their excuses, what is the next strategy after that?
Well, you know what, man, I agree with you. Oh, go ahead. Someone else is going to say something.
Go ahead, Rico. Go ahead, Rico G.
Yes,
And hold on. I want some of the sisters to call in. You know, go ahead and call in. All right, go ahead, Rico.
All right, cool. How you doing, Dons? I purchased your documentary too, bro. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but keep up the great work.
Well, listen. It ain't like Netflix where you got to pay a monthly subscription or you got a certain amount of time to watch it. It's yours forever as long as you don't forget your login. There you go.
Awesome. Appreciate that. I want to just throw something out there and understand when we're dealing with the Democratic Party as a whole, we're looking at brand loyalty. And when we look at when Biden made the comments to the NAACP, Al Sharpton, etc., saying, "Hey, shut up! You Negroes are going to be in last place. The Latinos, they're coming. They're here." And the way they reacted was 100% cowardly, as far as black men, black leadership in America. And when we look at now how the way our females clamor to the Democratic Party and the people like Angela Stanton, the way she came at, say what you will, you may not agree with Tariq all the time and some of the other people that she mentioned, but when it comes to the point of politics and brand loyalty, I agree with his statement. And our black women have to get away from that brand loyalty and stop treating the Democratic Party like a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton and things like that. The end of comment.
Y'all, let me ask y'all a question, man, because I understand the thing is, but my thing is focusing on black women. I just think that's a losing strategy, man. They just have way too much representation in the media, way too much representation in the Democrat Party. I think it's a losing strategy. I think it's easier to focus on black men and show them how they're hated, how they're ignored, how they're trampled on, to get the black men to change. Because it's just, I think if we try to get the black women to change, it's not going to work. And I'm not saying separate. I just think we don't need the black woman to vote to hold their vote. If black men just stop voting in droves alongside them, then I think our issues we are going to be taken more seriously as men, and people are going to look at us to ask what we need to get our vote. But focusing on black women, I think that's just going to be a losing strategy, man. They are not going to change.
Well, hey, T, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Is what we're going through, is it similar to black men not going to church? The way black men we're kind of pulling away from the political part, from the political aspect of America. Can we kind of compare those two? Because have a lot of black men, we refuse to go to church, but it's full of our women.
You know what? And that is a good thing that is happening, man. Because the thing is, I think what black men have to do, and yeah, you are right. It is the same with the political system. Because if you go to the hoods and talk to Pookie and Ray Ray, they ain't worried about voting, man. Voting, they don't really care. But I think what black men in the know can do is, especially black pastors who kind of, well, if any exists, that has the black man's best interest at heart, is to make a church or something like that geared towards more black men. All I'm saying is that black men have to do stuff that's geared towards more us. Just like black women do the little black girl magic, and every time black men try to get something for them, like how Ice Cube tried to do that the contract of Black America. Look at how loud black women were. But yeah, for Black America. Yeah, bro, look at how loud black women were. We're like, wait a minute, we need our own special addendum. They were loud, so loud that they even pulled Ice Cube into that little stupid Fox Soul debate with him, which he should have declined that, but with him, Vivica, women who don't know anything about politics. And then convinced Ice Cube to say, okay, I'm gonna add a little black woman addendum, which was dumb. Like, black men have to stop doing that. You don't
But
even need to
why did
talk to
he
black women.
listen? Why does Ice Cube feel the need? This is why I keep saying black men got to get over this. Look, in my opinion, if you want to be a man, when you hit masculinity, you have to show no fear. Part of that is you got to remove your mother from your psyche. We love our mothers. Our mothers are beautiful. They take care of us. But being a man means you don't have to always go to a woman for your self-esteem. You
Facts.
don't have to go to a woman for your direction in life. It's like, mama, sit down. I know what I'm doing. I'm a man. I love you. I respect you, but I know what I'm doing. I'm a man. And until black men can do that with their mamas, with their aunties, their grandmas, it don't. You're wasting time. That's why he sat down with those women. Who the hell are those women to talk to Ice Cube? I
Exactly.
told him, get the hell out of here. I'd have told him, go to Saudi Arabia and talk to them Saudi Arabian men before you come talk to me. And she would have shut up. But then if you say that, you see it in the chats. Oh, you're hurt, you're bitter, you're angry. No, I'm not. I just don't need you to tell me what it is to be me.
I want
Exactly, man. And I'm with you on that. We don't need to talk to these black women. It's like I said, it's not a disrespect thing. It's just that we have to understand as men, is that especially as black men, no one is going to understand our issues or care about our issues more than us. Not no women, not no other race of men. It's going to have to be us. We can do this stuff on our own. I think Ice Cube messed up. I think he should have got with more black men, influential black men, and presented his policy towards them, and just ignore the hyenas.
Well, Ice Cube comes from that era back in the '90s when you had Boys to Men, 112, Jodeci singing those R&B songs and basically catering to these chicks when they really didn't deserve it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I really woke up when I started seeing chicks on ESPN. Once ESPN started bringing chicks on,
hold on, focus me. They had Angela Rye on ESPN. I'm like, what the fuck is Angela Rye doing on ESPN?
and listen, man, there's no look. I really believe these feminists just don't want men to have that space, because when we have that space, we talk a certain way. But when they can interject a woman into that space, our conversation is going to change, and that's what they've done with ESPN. That was the hugest like black eye to sports when you got to turn. Yeah, I like looking at pretty women. Don't get me wrong. I like the pretty women, but not there. Not there. I don't want to go home from work, catch the highlights, and hear some chick. I just don't. And it really, really bothered me. But that's when the writing was on the wall for me. About 5 or 10 years ago, when they introduced chicks on ESPN, that told me they do not want men to have no space. Even the Boy Scouts. Either they're going to put an LGBT guy there or they're going to put a chick there. They don't want men to have that space, man. And I really believe they just want to produce this effeminate type of man. Ever since, I think after like World War I, World War II, they don't want to make those kind of men no more. So they said, let's just start making men more softer than usual. And they're invading these spaces like ESPN. That was a huge red flag to me.
But is it?
Well, hold on. Let's pass it to Jughead. Go ahead, Jughead. Jughead, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Oh yeah. I was agreeing with Guest Up and Focus Man. By the way, greetings, Chrissy, greetings, T, Kanika, greetings, Richie G. Yeah, I've noticed what's happened the last 3 or 4 decades. I'm very observant what's happened to your country last 4 or 5 decades. Since the murder of people like Dr. King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers, real men, people like Andrew Young, other Democrats have put you towards the Democrats. You've been misled back on some plantation by these Democrats. These are people like Andrew Young, all these other Democrat bourgeois misleaders. That's what's happened. You've been misled back on some plantation by these people. So, and now black men have been made to feel like ashamed to be strong. Like as Gaspar said, when we voiced opinion, there was like it's like we've done something wrong. Like we must reverse that at all. As Gaspar said, stop being ashamed of being strong, of having an opinion. We must focus on what we're going to, and we must lead. Black women, don't get it twisted. Black women are strong. I have no problem, taking direction. Look at Winnie Mandela. Yaya Santua. They're strong women, but they're a minority. Women like them that can, that will lead. That's not something that's in nature or in nature. Most nations are built by the men. And we must get back to that as black men. Without any apologies or compromise. Manhood, straight black pride, straight African pride. No compromise, no apologies.
Kofi, the Black Critic. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with the panel mostly. I don't like this whole divisive thing that they do. And like the other brother did say that, you may disagree with Tariq Nasheed on certain things, but even a broken clock is once even one time during the day, and they are doing something of a gender divide instead of uniting us. They're saying they always pit one against the other instead of saying, hey, black people as a group, black people as a whole, no matter what direction you want to go with or go, whether it be Democrat, Republican, or whatever, this is what you need to do as a group. But when you make it seem like, okay, your own mother or father's opposition, then they just do that just to create infighting. And what Jughead said about um Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is not a Democrat. Andrew Yang is whatever is where the wind blows. Andrew Yang is now part of this centrist party. It's a centrist party that he has now. So he's doing this, to me, is another publicity stuff. He's trying to get Republicans and Democrats to be in this I forgot the name of the party that he's trying to create, but they basically stand on nothing. You ask them a question about gun control, about education and stuff like that, they give you these ambiguous answers that's really not saying anything. And my question to all the black Republicans there, if not Stacey Abrams, then who? And I'll just leave with that.
Is there such thing as a vote of no confidence? Is there such thing as, abandon the polls until you get a candidate that represents your opinion? I'm tired of this, the lesser of two evils. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, nah, look, that lady's no good. She's no good. Throw in the trash can. I don't care if she's a black woman. I don't care if she's a purple woman. Throw in the trash can. She's no good. She's no good. Why? Look, I'm tired of this unified stuff. That's part of the problem. No, trim the fat. Cut the cancer off. I'm not unifying with derelicts and morons. Stop unifying with crazy people. In the village, you get kicked out of the village. Like in villages, if I went to my village, listen, when I was younger, my grandfather had a friend who did something so atrocious in the village. And, he was basically not buried properly. They threw him in the evil forest. So if you do something wrong, we don't want you. What's so hard in disregarding and discarding people? Is that a terrible thing to do? Why is the onus always on us? We got to unite and forget all that. Then you end up uniting with nonsense.
Well, the whole thing is that as a community, we feel being demonized and by ostracizing certain people who seem to be favorable for illegitimate reasons. So no one doesn't want that backlash. To me, it's a bit of cowardness and ignorance.
I agree.
I don't know what you mean by that. Can you explain that again?
Well, okay, so if we all know the truth about someone, so let's take Kamala Harris. So I won't hit a nerve talking about Trump, because I go on for days. But let's say Kamala Harris, right? Kamala Harris had said verbatim, when she was on that one with Charlamagne the God, are you going to do anything for black people? And she said, no, I'm not going to do anything for black people. All that. Everyone knows Kamala Harris is just has that position due to the optics, right? Joe Biden picked her because of optics, right? Well, hey, I got a black woman. I got someone that's not white and not a man. This is going to look good in society. But policy-wise, even when she was in there in California, she's no good for black people, which hence this whole panel about Stacey Abrams and black men feeling some type of shame for not supporting a woman. It's not about she's a woman. It's about what is she's going to do for us as a whole, black people as a whole. You have a shitty track record, but you want to make it about black man versus black woman. So that's what I mean by even though if we had a real public forum, if Dynast had a real public forum that was on Fox Soul or BET and stuff like that, the black community will lose their shit. And they will have nothing truthful to combat what we're saying, because we're going based upon what you said. Not if, I went to a black fraternity and that's all bullshit. Your track record is shit and you're not currently doing anything now. What are you going to do for us? That, I don't care what candidate who you're voting for or not voting for. If you with the candidate, you're supposed to hold their feet to the fire to make sure they're going to do something for it. That's it. And the thing I love about Kamala Harris, at least she was honest. At least she was honest. That's what I mean. I hope I answered your question. You know what, man? It would be crazy because if they do let Dynast on BET or one of these black platforms, he's going to be attacked. And here's where the cowardice come in. He's not going to get defended by celebrities who constantly talk about politics. Like, what is interesting is Snoop Dogg during the 2020 if you look at his entire Twitter was about voting Democrat. But it's funny because now that the election is over, he's talking about BS. But it's like these black celebrities, it's like they just snap into place whenever these white liberals tell them what to do. And they try to act fake about their caring about the black community. So if you get someone like Dynast talking, and let's say he makes sense, they will be too scared to defend him. They'll be too scared. They will probably think they are going to be canceled. So there is a cowardice, especially among the black men who has a means, who has money, who has a platform to say anything in support of when black men make sense. Hence what happened to Ice Cube. He didn't get that much support. He didn't get anything. And even with Kanye West, and I don't, regardless of his mental state, his whole thing was
listen, I'll vote for Kanye.
Yeah.
For Kanye.
But the thing is, you don't vote for someone who has a mental illness and bipolar. That's all. Vote for Herschel Walker.
I'll vote for Herschel Walker. Listen, he's
all right. So you cool with men,
Herschel Walker,
women, and all that. All right, cool.
Herschel Walker went to you. Listen, that's.
Hey, put that down, man. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Put that down. That's blasphemy. Roll Tide. Shout out to Alabama, Tuscaloosa.
I'll vote for Kanye.
But you know what, man? I do think black men are in a unique position because if we would, let's say we just didn't vote at all and abstain, and let's say, the Democrats are losing and the Republicans are getting in, I truly believe this is going to put pressure on the Democrats to really do something for black men. Because, we are in an ideological civil war between the left and the right. It's played out in all of our media. And I think if black men could just exploit that, I think we can get what we want. And if the Republicans come with us with an offer, I think we should talk to them to put pressure on the Democrats to see if they can put something different instead of just attacking the black men who talks to the Republicans to get something from black people.
But can I ask you a question? I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to mention it to you guys, right? If we look at how politics works in terms of any politician, whether they be on the left or the right, that has ever done anything for any group, they have to be lobbied, right? So that there has to be a sizable amount of money that's pushed their way. So where's this money that we're going to get to lobby these politicians to do things in our favor?
It's not going to work.
Well, that is a great question. We ain't even that far. Yo, you know what? You are absolutely 1,000% right about that. If the money's not there, they won't care. But I do think in the black community's position, because we all vote as a voting bloc, I think if we stop voting, or especially the men, that is going to put pressure on the Democrats as far as they need our vote to continue.
But they don't. But they don't. They've already told you all they need is black women and the Hispanics, and they're fine. The Hispanics are somewhat split down the middle, right? And they kind of, vote how they vote. I don't want to talk about them. But what I'm saying is that if we don't have the economic might to lobby the politicians to do things specifically for black males or the black community, how are you going to, they don't care about the black male vote. The black male vote doesn't exist to them.
No, it's not going to work.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Chrissy. Go ahead.
Yeah. If you were to say specifically what black men, like to the men on the panel, what black men want, like when you're looking at a candidate and, as you say that they pander to black women, what they want, would you say, what do black men want from a candidate, from a leader, like, the presidential or mayoral, state, federal? What do black men need specifically? That would be
what do they want or what do they need?
I guess
because what they want is Lil Wayne with the suit on.
Okay, what they need. What do they need? What do black men need to move them in any direction? What are black men looking for, from the political arm?
Chrissy, reparations. You bought that country. Reparations. That's what you need. Number one, reparations. You bought that country. You owed reparations.
And I'll say non-biased opportunity.
Non-biased opportunity. Are you talking about business? Are you talking about jobs? What are you talking about specifically?
In my case, I would have to say business and jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that sums it up. I think that's what most black men,
Listen, I would
What do you
say
think,
another.
Dinah?
I love the new DA in Atlanta. Get these Pookies and Ray Rays off the street. Get them
Gotcha.
off the street. Get Pookie and Ray Ray off the street because they're tearing this up and making it hard to do business. Get them off the street. That's another one.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
I think it's important to, I guess, find a way to verbalize that as a collective. I know someone was saying that, the money is not there, but it would have to be grassroots, I would assume.
But that's what I'm saying, Chrissy. Men typically, here's the problem with masculinity, the way it's presented to us in the West. If men were to try to create some sort of coalition, it's frowned upon. Men are not, even when men voice their opinions or voice their displeasure with things, they're shouted down. I'm not his biggest fan, but Kevin Samuels is a perfect example. He didn't do anything wrong to any black woman. He just was saying, typically from his perspective, what he, thought and observed that black men wanted in black women in terms of their behavior. And it's like, shut up, we don't want to hear you. We're going to give, the customer's not right when it comes to black men. In any other situation, the customer is always right. But when it comes to black men, just shut up and accept and do as you're told. And it's just crazy. So I agree. Yeah, there has to be some sort of organizing efforts. But, realistically, black men don't even, in my experience on the day-to-day, we don't help each other. We don't attack capitalism as a collective. We stun on each other. You go into any clubs like, yeah, look at them bum ass dudes. I don't want to use the N-word, but look at them bum ass dudes over there, broke. You know what I'm saying? Or they, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. This is how we treat ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just like it's somewhat laughable to me. You got to deal with the scammers and the grifters half the time. So I don't know. I hope that can come about.
I think what you're doing, you're speaking towards the Western culture that we have adopted, right? Certain American cultures don't affect certain other people's cultures because they're culturally not American, so it doesn't affect them either way. They have what Dr. Clark calls a cultural compass. They know what they should do, what they should not do, what they could accept, what they can't accept. I tell my children these same things. Not everything you see on TV that's there for you is for you. So perfect example, I keep it very simple. So I'm in New York. So when it gets really hot, they talk about the humidity and the UV index. So the UV index is, okay, I know I can ignore that, and I'm going to pay attention to the humidity, and I'm going to pay attention to the urban heat, right? But if I don't know myself or anything like that, I'm a black man putting on suntan lotion. Oh, because the UV rays and stuff. Okay, that's not for you. That's not for you. And culturally, we have a culture that's Western. So if we were on code, for a lack of a better word, if we were on a particular African code, we wouldn't care what other people say because we're doing what we want to do and we're doing what we need to do. And once we do that, everybody else will follow. Simple as that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Look at the chat though. Look at what these women are writing in the chat. Look at women like Sunflower. Look at what Trina's writing in the back chat. And again, maybe they do have a valid point. I don't know, but anytime black men, and Christy, you should be talking to these women. That's why sometimes I come at you, not is it anything personal, but it's like, nah, the energy directed to these sisters. Because here's black men saying their opinions and look at excuses, weak men. And it's just like at a certain point when men keep hearing this over and over again, that's why they shut up and they clam up and they don't speak. And then later when men start voicing their opinion, it's like, well, why didn't you say anything? Look at what your sisters are doing.
I hear you.
Because when black women say anything, black men are quick. What you need, baby? So I don't know.
So
black
what
women
would
have
it
given
take?
a pass. I'm sorry, I'll let you talk, Chrissy. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying. So then, now knowing that, what will it take for Black men to get to a point where they don't care? What I mean, I'm not care like anything you say, but just certain things I stand firm on, certain things like this is the pillar of my beliefs and I'm unmovable. Because I'm just thinking and I'm comparing to, let's say, like men in my family. I don't know anybody who, I'm not going to say they don't care what women in the family think, but they're not falling apart. They're not, maybe the dynamics are different, but what do you think it would take for Black men within themselves or as a network of Black men to say, I don't really give a damn what you say. As far as this is
Hello,
concerned, this is what I stand, this is what
I
it
hear
is, and that's it. Like
I
what
can
does that
answer that.
take to you for you to get there?
Chrissy, I can answer that.
you. Speak.
Just back to what T. Khalid said 10 minutes ago, Chrissy. Right now, Democrats have let thousands of millions of immigrants into your country, south of the border, to replace you. That's their intention. That's their first intention, to replace you. They bring them in by millions and forward to replace you. What happens? Then you have no choice to think for yourself, do for self, because they bring them in to replace you. These Democrat bastards. Their plan, even though you put that country, they're not grateful to you at all. You put that country, Black Americans, and what's their reward? Replacement. And they happened. Remember, because you remember history, remember 20th century, beginning of last century. Was it Truman, the president Truman, Coolidge, and who was the other one? And Roosevelt. Immigrants from Italy, Ireland to replace you. It's happening again. They did it 100 years ago, and they're doing it again now. That's what it's going to take. So, Black men, wake up.
Got it.
Well, right now in this day and age, the people that's pushing replacement theory are the Republicans and the Democrats. That's why you got white people shooting up grocery stores and all that, because they believe in a replacement theory, which it's kind of stupid because they're replacing you how? It's not like, okay, we brought in a couple of Polish people. Now the other white people, the Mexican, gotta go. That's an old Tea Party ideology. It goes that far back.
No, Kofi, that's incorrect. It is true. Look, we're not talking about.
So how does that work?
I'll tell you how it's going to work. Well, first, we're looking at the past, the Kofi. If you know your history, Kofi, of your country, I'm assuming you're American. Beginning of the 20th century, the three presidents of America, Calvin Coolidge, Roosevelt, and Woodrow Wilson. They brought millions of Europeans from Europe, Italy, Poland, Ireland to replace you. Even though you built the country to replace the Black Americans, it's happened again. They happened gradually. Now, what's happening now in the south of the border? It's happening again. What made it instantaneous? But as decades proceed, you watch what happens, Kofi. As you get across the middle of the 20th century, 21st century, that's their intention. It's not obvious now, but you watch. Paul Anderson warned you guys decades ago. It's happening now. Bubba Anderson.
The only thing wrong with that is that back then in those days, you said Italians they didn't bring the Italians, they didn't bring the Irish. Those people were considered white back then, right?
No, they were not. No, they were not. There's a great book you should read, How the Irish Became White. They were not considered white. You watch Gangs of New York.
White. There's posters. They call Irish potato eaters. They call them leprechauns. They call them all types of disgusting names because they weren't the Saxons. They were the Celts. Yeah. You got to understand.
Kofi, missed my point. Yeah, but point is this, Kofi. Why were they brought in? That's my point, Kofi. Why were they brought in?
Because the Irish was born because there was potato famine and they were starving, so they came to America. That's why they were let in.
No, yeah, they're let in.
Well, no, I think it was labor. It was labor. I think what Jughead is trying to say.
It was a potato famine. That's why they came.
Yes, there was a potato famine, and there may have been some sort of humanitarian effort behind it. But keep in mind, it's always been labor for Black people in America. So, for example, everyone, the Pan-Africanists love to jump on the China bandwagon, but they forget that China is only successful. Well, not only, but the seed of China's success, the bedrock of that, happened on the backs of African Americans, because after Nixon visited China in the 70s, all of a sudden the factories are 72. So all of a sudden the factories and American capital says we're going to leave the inner cities, places like Detroit, Baltimore, all these places, Ohio, and we're going to go over to China to produce our goods. Well, guess what? The labor force there was largely African Americans, and they weren't assisted. You understand what I'm saying? In making that transition.
Agreed. I know that history, because that's why Detroit was also called the Motor City, because that's where they had the big manufacturing plants and stuff like that.
And that was pretty much their bread and butter. And that's why Detroit it is the way it is today, because they lost their main thing that driven that brought money to that state. I know that. So yes, gas them up. You're right in that respect.
Yeah, so Kofi, I'm saying it's happening now. I mean, okay, Kofi, the millions of illegals coming to your country south of the border. Why are they being allowed in? If they're just aren't nefarious, why are they being allowed in? Illegals.
Well, here's the thing, Jughead. Think about this. The only president, again, I'm not a Trump fan, right? But what I'm going to say is this. Trump's plan, he wanted to build the wall. He wanted to force manufacturing back into the United States, right? Now, think about this, guys. If his plan had been allowed to come to pass, when he created that tax law where corporations are only taxed on 21% of profit, right, where C Corps only taxed on that level, then you would have started to see, hopefully, more corporations will start bringing back production in the United States. Well, guess who would have been hired to do those jobs? It would have been African Americans and those ignored in the labor force today, right? Because everyone talks about the unemployment rate, but the most important rate is actually the underemployment rate. And it's always been in double digits for black men in America. Had that plan that Trump wanted to bring back those jobs and those manufacturing jobs in the United States, who do you think would have worked in those factories? It would have been most of these, NBA young boys, hot boy steppers, and these hot girl summers. Because it's like, look, you ain't going to be a rapper. You might as well go work in the factory and make me an iPad.
But at the end of it, also, what you're also...
Let's do this. Let's pass it to Trina, then to Nigel. Go ahead, Trina.
I personally think it's time for black men, especially FBA black men, to start building. I think the problem is, I'm just going to say this, a lot of black American men spend too much time talking, and it's too much red pill content, too much, Kevin Samuels, Dennis Sperling, OJ Deuce. I'm just going to keep it 100. And I don't have nothing against the men, but I'm just saying it's too much of that type of content. Not enough brothers talking about, we want to get together and build infrastructures. We want to get policies in place. Because I'm going to tell you one thing, and I'm not a feminist, I'm a realist. The reason why so many black women are feminists in this country is because the failure of black American men. I'm just going to keep it 100. When you don't produce, you don't build, you don't protect, that is going to cause black women to become feminists. You want to stop black women from becoming feminists? You're tired of black women going to the left or whatever? Get in positions of power. Because if you...
What about if they don't care? What if black men stop caring what black women did?
Oh, listen. There's a lot of black women that do want black men to get in power, that do want black men to build. Forget about Quandalisha and the thought women. Forget them. They're going to be who they are. But the strong intellectual black women such as myself and other black women like me, we want black men to get in power. If you get in power, the black women will come. All the neck rolling, finger pointing, loud mouth that a lot of black men claim that black women do in this country, that will stop immediately.
Yeah, Trina's right. If you build it, they will come.
Nah, Jughead, don't do that, Jughead. That's a lie. That's a lie. You know why I'm gonna prove it to you? I'm gonna give you guys a perfect anecdotal example. Look at what's her name? Megan, the girl from the cousin Skeeter that was in the, what's her name? Megan, is it Megan Good? Whatever her name is. She married the quintessential high value pastor black man. He's the good guy. He's a good, honest man, and she still wanted to be a thought. I'm tired of black men trying to save women. I'm tired of it. Look, if she's not on the program, let her be. You don't got to worry about it. It's not your responsibility. Focus on getting your money right. Focus on stacking your bread, building your business, and working with your black brothers and sisters who support you. But all that other, we got to build community. And if you do this, they're going to follow you. That's a lie. These women ain't going to follow nothing but whatever they want to follow. It ain't no high value man. It ain't no structures. It ain't no good sex. None of that stuff is going to come. You didn't raise these women. I'm an educator. If the person 9 out of 10 times was raised a certain way to be foolish, they're going to stay foolish. There's nothing you can do to change a person's upbringing. I'm tired of black men putting that responsibility on themselves. And that's why they end up hurt when they do all the right things, and then you find out that the girl that you thought was this is the total opposite. No, Dinus, what's that girl name? Megan Good, right? That's her name. The one that was with a pastor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making good.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more could that brother have done? He did everything. He's a high value. He go to church. He pray. He worship. Jesus is his Lord and Savior, and she still want to be a thought. Like,
But
nah,
the
come on,
thing-
man. Stop telling black men that lie.
But gassed them up. But he chose her. You know what I'm saying? You have to use wisdom with who you choose. You know what I'm
See, this is
saying?
where we're going. Now he chose her. What you guys just said, talking about Chrissy. You guys
Men
just said
ask
if
women
the
to
man,
marry them.
talking about Chrissy. You guys just that's why I think black men, stop choosing women. Let them choose you. If she don't like you, forget that. Let her choose you. Choose the women who like you. But you guys just said that if the man does everything right and he sits down there and has all these things in place, the woman is gonna follow. That is a lie. These women ain't gonna follow.
I don't think Trina is saying if they do everything right. Maybe I will add to what Trina said as far as I believe, at least from what I've seen in my little world, if the men are supposed to set the tone. Like, to me, you set the tone with how you're going to be treated and how you're going to be respected. I can even think of like people I know, you know, or family members, whatever, and they're dating somebody, and the first whiff they get of attitude, they set the tone. They put you in your place. Tutus. So from that, you walk in your 12 and not your 13. You know what I'm saying? So you set the tone on how people are going to treat you from the moment, like those men on the thing with the lady,
Chrissy,
Tiffany,
I
whatever
set
her
the
name
tone
is.
every time. And do you see the stuff that they write? And I don't care. But do you see how? Wait, talk about Chrissy. No, take them. This is why I always tell people: take the medicine and let's be real. Gas them up or come on these platforms, and I'm keeping it 1,000. And I don't care if the women like me. I'm not there for them because at the end of the day, I'm always going to be me. And the women that like me are going to gravitate. And if you don't like me, that's fine. Bleach and ammonia ain't supposed to mix. Maybe I'm not your chemical makeup, right? But by me taking my stance and being who I am, being myself, you can see the nonsense. Forget me. Look at Kevin Samuels. Again, I didn't agree with everything that brother said, but look at how these women attacked him. He didn't do anything wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, let's stop saying that. Let's keep it real. And that's what I'm saying, Chrissy, the energy y'all got for black men, take it to y'all sisters. And that's why the only one doing that is the Pink Book lady on YouTube, because it's like, no, y'all come on here, and I'm not saying you personally, but they got all these lectures for black men, right? And they got all these things that black men should be doing. You choose the right woman, you do this, you do, and at the end of the day, it's all nonsense. I'm tired of black men falling for the okie doke. If you don't control, if you did not raise that woman, there's nothing you can do. You could give her the greatest sex in the world, you can give her all the money in the world. She is her upbringing 9 out of 10 times. So you're right, choose, but I'm just saying, I'm tired of them telling black men, if you do A, B, and C, you're going to get D, E, and F. That's a lie. It doesn't work that way. I hear
what you're saying, but to be honest, at least from my perspective, women don't listen. Trina, do women listen to you when you talk? I don't know. A lot of...
So if they don't listen to you, how you think black men should waste their time having them listen to us? If they don't listen to you, why should a black man waste his time trying to get black women to listen to
I don't know,
to us?
Unless they're going to become homosexual. If they want to be with the man,
it has nothing to do with homosexual. No. See, again, Chrissy, it has nothing to do with homosexual. And y'all always like to throw that out there. But the point is, no,
want
listen.
to be with men, you're going to have to get with the plan to a certain degree, or you're going to be by yourself.
And most black women are fine with that because the Western state has created all the mechanisms for a woman to be by herself. This is the crisis of masculinity. Black women, yeah, you don't, but you don't want to be. But the truth of the matter is, in that in America and in Western societies today, women don't need men. You have every apparatus that you don't need a man to survive. And that's just the crisis of masculinity. So you got all these men running around trying to solve women's problem. Like, look at me, you need me, And it's like, no, they don't. They got AAA, they got government assistance, they got government grants, they got affirmative action. They have everything at their disposal. So that's why I tell black men, yo, focus on you. Do you. Enjoy your life. Stack your money. Have fun.
And you know what, the just to comment on the red pill content, I think that's actually beneficial to the black community in general, because you want black men to focus on themselves so they can start building businesses and becoming economically dependent. Because the more dependent black men are, the more they're going to sit around and wait for white people to tell them what to do. So the reason why the red pill content is blowing up is because prior to that, black men really had nothing. There was nothing telling black men to get themselves together to work out, to take their health seriously, to take their finances seriously. We had none of that. Everything involved around was, whatever, Black women issues were. So I do think the more Black men start seeing each other as brothers, seeing men of themselves as not their enemies, it is going to benefit the Black community. And what the brother is saying is, I agree. We got to stop focusing on women. I think that is a major problem with Black men, solving Black women problems when Black men are out here at the bottom of the barrel suffering. We have no control of our neighborhoods. We don't have no institutions. There's not a big brotherlyhood network. So I do agree, Black men need to focus on themselves first. I think once Black men do that, all the other chips would fall in line.
But see, that's my point. That's Trina's point. See, that's why I come and saw it. Cut you off. See, that's Trina's point. You bet you that we don't control the community. Here in the UK also, that's our fault. When I as men, Trina's correct. I love you, brother, my Nigerian brother, but you're wrong. Trina is correct. If we build it, they will come collectively. You bet you individuals that are big successful and shouted by the girlfriend. That's an individual. Trina's talking about collectively, not individualism. Collectively, if we build it, they will come. We don't for the last 4 decades.
Jughead, you can't defeat the state. The state is the 800-pound gorilla. There's nothing you can do for a woman that Uncle Sam ain't gonna do better.
I disagree.
Well, but the thing is, we shouldn't even focus on that, though. That's like women. I just think Black men just need to take women out the equation, and that's not a misogynist thing to say. I think we just need to focus on ourselves and better ourselves. And yes, once Black men do better, I think we will be on par with every other race who has grew economics. And of course, like generally speaking, the women will come. Yeah. They will come. They will. Why would they want to be underneath white people who they gotta, they talk about how their hair is and racism and all that stuff, when they could come under Black men? But the thing is, the Black man has to do better first, and the women have to understand that too as well. If a Black man comes up with issues predominantly that's beneficial towards Black men, I think they should just be quiet and let the Black man push it instead of saying, well, what about us too? Because then that distracts from the Black male issues, put it towards the women, and it just doesn't do Black men any good in the long term.
That's Trina's point. That's Trina's point. Trina was saying that the reason why some women gravitate towards feminism because there's a protective mechanism we put for them to Black women here in the UK and America. Trina's correct. If we want to put us in place, they will come back. Right now, there's no protection for them from us economically.
But Jughead, what you're saying is that feminism, because feminism is an ideology that's supported by the state. They have state resources. Black men can't. We're under attack by the state. Black men can't compete with the state. So
let me ask you this, man. Let me ask you this: if Black men were wiser, do you think they'll be impregnating 4 or 5 women, or messing with these thoughts that have no business being baby mothers? Because I think it's our mentality too. I mean, just think about our music and culture, bro. It's nothing but drugs and having sex with women. Well, FBA culture. I love FBA.
I love FBA too much to say that that's their culture. I got too much respect for FBA to say hip hop is their culture. Hip hop is an industry. It's not their culture. So I wouldn't say that that's their culture, but I'm just saying that, again, how do you compete with the state? You can't beat the state. So I say forget that battle.
Guess them up. What's the population of America? 45 million? 44 million? What's the population of America? 44 million? 45 million?
Population of America? I think it's 360 million.
Yeah,
Black America. What's your percentage? 30%? 30% of America.
Like that 50%. Let's pass it to 2 Nigel. 2 Nigel's been waiting. Okay. Go ahead, 2 Nigel.
Hi, thanks for having me. Greetings to everyone on the panel, chat, and the viewers. I think everybody has their own opinion on these things. I think I'm more leaning towards Trina on what she said regarding, generally the truth is, women gravitate towards power. It's just that simple, and that is what will happen. And the ones that don't, that want to chase career and all the rest, what is going to happen to them is the ones that have children will replace them and inherit all the work that they have done. And there are consequences to doing these things when you are doing it while other women are busy having children. And I think I saw a program recently where they said the childbirth is like a battlefield. And some people don't understand that. They just think chasing career is how you prolong yourself. You don't. You have one child, the other one has 8. Chances are that the one that has 8 children will surpass you. And second, I think regarding the stuff that, you know, they were talking about, having a discussion about whether what the black men can demand, you know, from you know, political classes and stuff like that. I feel like by the time you start making demands and being, you know, people are willing to grant you anything, you probably don't need it anymore. It's often like that with these things. You're already probably worth it. You're already worth that stuff, and they'll be begging you to take it then. And you wouldn't even care. An example of things like this is like India right now. India is like the pivotal country in the world in terms of who is going to come out on top in the latest struggle. And because of it now, they are offering India nuclear submarines. And can you believe Indian the defense churches can actually go inside Pentagon without escorts right now? There are members of the U.S. military that have to be escorted into the Pentagon. But the defense attaché of India can do that freely right now because they matter now. They don't have to beg for it. You see what I mean? So if we as a community want to do better, we have to make ours matter. And you have to go for strategic things. These things, you have to be precise about what truly matters in this world. You have to go for the strategic things. Things like technology, things like defense industry, energy, agriculture, all those strategic things that society needs to function. That's what you need to go for. And when you have control of those things, they will come to you. Like women too. Women go towards power. Other power people gravitate towards power. They will come and begging you to give you trinkets, and you know, you'll be like, nah, I'm not interested. I'll go with the other guy. Stuff like that. And you will not need them. It tells you that in this life, you have to fight for yourself and fight for the right things. And I'm surprised, you know, that when they asked for, you know, when they talked about what we can ask for, most people just, it's almost like we don't understand that these things that we are supposed to ask for are the big things. We can't ask for trinkets. If you say you just want business, they'll give it to business. McDonald's is a business. If you ask for this education, yeah, they'll give you education. Go and do mediocre this and go and work for people. Ask for things that are going to give you ownership. And the truth is, by the time you can ask for those things and they won't grant it to you, you don't need their help anymore.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that's how life works.
Yeah, too large. We shouldn't even be asking. We've got the power, the money and resources. Too large, my brother. We shouldn't be asking. We should start building as men. Forget asking. When we should be building as men. When Qatar was independent from England in 1971, they built their land from the desert. Look at Qatar now. Dubai, Abu Dhabi. They didn't ask. When Dr. Lee Kuan Yew from Singapore gave independence from England in 1953, whatever, they didn't ask. They built Singapore up. Men don't ask. Men organize and build. Men don't ask. Men organize and build. That's what men do.
And all these things involve hard work and sacrifices, just like the Ukrainians are doing right now. That's a paying with blood for the very, very hard thing that they are fighting for. And we think that we are going to get out of this somehow with some kind of clean hands and things are not going to get down and dirty. It has to, because that is the only path to power. Because the people that have it, they are not going to grant it to you for free. If you can do it without any massive struggle like the way the Chinese and the Indians did it, good luck. Because that is a very good accomplishment that they did. They didn't have to go through the hell the Russians went through in the Second World War. The Indians coasted. And look at them now. People are begging them all over the place. The Chinese are asking them to come to this side. The US is asking them to come to the other side. That is the kind of strategy we want to start employing. Start dominating critical industries. Start owning them.
Well, you got to understand, man, this is a fairly new concept, like I said, especially for FB. Look,
one second, let me read this super chat. Dear Summer, thank you for super chat. I agree, black men, it's time to take care of you. Don't stay away too long, though. There is no black family without you. Get well so that you can be who you created to be.
Yeah, one last thing I want to say is that all those people that think that it's okay to just integrate and those they use the term divesting and all that. What they don't understand is that when they do those things and you don't control the genetic flow, that was the other side controls the way the mixing happens. you are basically committing a slow suicide. What is going to happen is that you're going to end up like the Neanderthals in their DNA print. Because your other side, that's why when you see these people, when they mix, you find out that they get whiter and whiter and whiter and whiter. That is what is happening. They are eliminating you. So you have to be careful when you choose that part.
I don't think black folks care, man. Like, man, let me tell you this, man. This is a fairly new concept for, and I would say especially for FBA, because you gotta understand, man. And I don't like bringing up history, but it all goes into context. When there's a people who never really had in any institutions, no control over the media, and just just given freedom, and they don't have that knowledge, it's gonna take us time to get to that institution building. The reason why, and that's what I love about social media, because just think about it. Without social media, could we even have a debate like this? No. There will be no network, no platform, not even these black controlled ones who are white funded will allow this conversation. So I think as long as these conversations go on and more black men tune in, I think it is going to be a change. Because I'm going to tell you, man, this is the first time I'm hearing black men talking about focus on themselves, focus on your money, focus on your health, stop living off women, stop chasing women, stop thinking women are supposed to take care of you. Things of like that. Take care of yourself. This is new. We don't hear this. I mean, I'm telling you, when I was growing up in the 90s, I heard nothing like this until I got on the internet. So you got to stand for black FBA men. This is a new process, and I like it, and we got to keep supporting it. And I think it's going to eventually come where black FBA men finally work together for the best interests of black men. And then when black men come up, I'm telling you, it's going to raise up the quality and life of black women also. I don't think we're going to be that selfish of a man where we just spit on our women and we tell them to kick rocks. I don't think that would happen.
But what's going on, see, just to piggyback on what you're saying is, like, it has to do with history. I love history, obviously. It has to do when you don't see, like, when I was on here last, it was me, Dynas, gassed him up. It was about the whole Little Mermaid thing. And Dynas was on some, like, well, he was saying he was hearing some crazy things like, hey, I'm going to take all y'all, to see it. The whole world just stopped because the Little Mermaid now is white. And I told Dynas, I was like, wow, it was deep like that. But you got to understand, it's representation. You have that mother. So if that mother is telling her daughter that, when that mother was her daughter's age, Ariel was a white woman that was a redhead, right? So she has an emotional attachment that she liked it anyway, right? So now that her daughter's all grown up, right? And she's all grown up and her daughter sees it, she's like, oh, wow, we're making progress. She is black now. And of course, you're going to get caught up in the whole hysteria of her being black because the representation we have out there. Now, right-wingers like Matt Walsh and stuff like that is just disgusted with it and saying she needs to be white. She needs to stay white. And blah, 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 blah. I just saw it like today. Like, if you look at deep sea creatures and stuff like that, they're like supposed to be like either white or translucent. Why can't you be translucent? But that's a regular white wing talking point. These are the same people that like to always put, we're going to give Pookies and the Rayways the limelight. We're going to show Empire. We're going to show P Valley. We're going to show that, yeah, y'all going to get that. But when it comes time to, and I always tell my children this, black men are under attack. Every time you turn on a commercial, you see a commercial, you see a TV show, you see a black man or a black boy, something off is going to be about them. And my kids notice it now. My kids notice it now. They were like, Dad, they got this, they brought I think the Proud Family, this is a Disney show that used to come on in the 90s. Oh, they're bringing the Proud Family back. Okay, that was cool. Proud Families, a black family, that's cool. Oh, but one of the kids are going to be gay. I'm like, what? They always gotta bring us, they always gotta show us in this degenerate something always has to be wrong with us. Like 911, that show 911. My wife looks at that. And I was like, let me give it a chance. Yeah, I love Angela Bassett. I watch Angela Bassett. So I'm looking at Angela Bassett. Oh, okay, it's cool. She a cop. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, she got a husband. Oh, black family. Oh, God, they're having problems. Okay, whatever. Everyone has problems. When I found out what problems that they were having, you know why they were having problems? He found out he was gay. I'm like, what the fuck? And that's the last episode I ever saw. And then later on, previews come on and stuff like that. She's now with the white boy now.
Wow,
So
that's interesting.
this is why I say we
Guess
don't.
what? Guess what? I'm looking at that 911 on TV right now. It's crazy. It's really strange. It's
And the
this
black
lady with a bald. One of them is a bald head, and the other one is has got this perm. Yeah, wow, that is interesting. This in the stuff that you just said. See, these things. I think let's face it. Every community is under attack. And the question is, who is feeling sorry for themselves? We can't afford to be feeling sorry for ourselves because the Europeans are under attack. Look at what is happening in Europe right now. The Asians, look at the Middle East. Everywhere is under attack to an extent. You just have to dust yourself up. That is primary duty. As men, that is your primary. Dust yourself up and get on with it. And we have to start doing the work. And I think was it Trina that said it? We have to transition from talking about it and start heading towards action. And the truth is, a lot of people are already doing it. I know of a lot of African American industrialists that are and they are even moving to the continent too. On the continent, the same thing is happening. The truth is, my only concern is at the pace. The fact is, a lot of people are already doing it. Whether the pace is enough for things not to be reversed is a question that bothers me a bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't do that black man pity party where I'm crying and saying it's hard to be a black man, because I think that's weak, because not only do you get respect for your own women, especially when you cry in front of white people and you say how hard the white man's foot is on your neck, you make the men emasculate you as if that man is higher and stronger than you. And I think black men should stop doing that in general. Just, no more pity parties, because I believe that does weaken us overall. It doesn't give us the confidence to go out and conquer. It just makes us sit around, whine and complain and wait for the white man to change. And I'm gonna say this, like I said, I don't care about interracial marriages. I mean, maybe some people do, but I don't. But if a lot of black men are complaining about white men and white men being supreme, and you're complaining about that in front of black women, I mean, you are over here big upping another man. I mean, it wouldn't be surprising if she just throws her hands up in the air and goes for the white man. And that's what we have to understand.
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question and see where you're coming from. So I understand what you're saying. If you're complaining and you have a defeatist mentality all the time, yeah, that's a loser mentality. But are you saying by not admitting to certain adversities in your life, such as white supremacy, is a form of weakness, or habitually doing it all the time is a form of weakness?
I can say this, man. If the white man's a problem, I think we can do it in a way to where we're not crying. Like let me give you an example. You remember how Van Jones was crying that Donald Trump won or something?
Yeah, that's a bad look.
It's stuff like that, man. Like, we don't need to be doing that. Like, we explain this is the problem. The white man is controlling all the media aspects, pushing out feminization of black male and boys. Solution: black men, we need to come together, create our own media network, so we don't have to rely on white people. And this is just to respond to the Little Mermaid thing. So I do agree that is good black representation. Unfortunately, it's on the backs of white people. We are waiting on the white man to do the black representation. I'm pretty sure that black people are very talented around the world that can create their own princesses. I mean, we don't need Disney. I don't know why we're not doing it, but
because we're not African. Because we're not African. If you were to put, like, you got the Woman King, you got Queen Nzinga, you got all these other women, right? The cultural problem we have with, I don't like to disrespect Black Americans by calling them FBA, but for Black Americans, some of them may not feel, oh, well, that's me. They may see, okay, you look like me, but you're not me. The disconnect is they don't think that those Africans are them. Especially when you have the FBA people where they're thinking they're Native American and they're from the Moors, from Morocco, or all this nonsense. They don't see themselves, and even way before FBA. I've been living in this country since I was 4, and my American friends. So it will be my American friends, my Guyanese friends, my Jamaican friends, whatever. Oh, where are you from? Jamaica. Okay. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Haiti. The Americans, where are you from? Oh, I'm from, my folks is from Alabama, but I got Indian in my family. I'm like, oh, okay. Only Americans say that.
Yeah, I see that, man. Yeah.
I'm Guyanese, right? Especially Guyanese and Trinidadians. We actually have Indians in our family. And we don't say that. We don't, no. That person is Indian, is East Indian. That one is Amerindian. And that person is Black, African descent. That's it. But so when I hear all these Americans say that I got Indian in my family, I'm like, well, they got more Indian in their family than I do. And I have Indian in my family. Literally. I'm only 1% Native American, but I have cousins that are half Indian. You know what I'm saying? Through marriage. So,
yeah, and I agree with you on that, man. I mean, let me ask you this. Picture you, okay, like, if you're from Guyana, if you're coming in from a different country, and you're Black, either been Caribbean or Africa, you were at least raised in an environment where you saw Black people running things. In a certain extent, Black people doing well, Black people being in control. But now just think if you're an African American raised in America, that's not the same experience. You don't see Black people running anything. You mostly see it ran by white people. And then when you look at your own neighborhood, especially if you were raised in the hood and you are seeing the poverty of it, I can see the mindset, and I'm not agreeing with this. That's never been in my mindset, but I kind of analyze it. The mindset where, okay, well, I'm mixed, or, I got Indian in me. It's kind of a self-hate, but it's the reason is you haven't really seen your people do anything great, besides media. But, if you're in Africa or the Caribbean, you're seeing Black politicians, you're seeing Black businessmen, you're seeing Black doctors, you know what I'm saying? You're seeing more.
No, you're
the NBA men got a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But growing up here, growing up here, okay, so I'm in my 40s, so coming here growing up, I know about Oprah Winfrey. You know what I'm saying? I know about Spike Lee, Mario Van Peebles. I know about these people, but I know it's not prevalent because I know anyone knows when you come to America, even though Black people are a fixture in America, they are part of America. We know that they don't run anything in America. So that's the difference. So the paradigm is different. And that's nothing against them because Black Americans are just up against the power that be. And they're Black people in general. I don't like the tribal, do that's tribal nonsense. We're all the same people. We all got that fight in us. It's just that our experience is different. But one thing I always say, the common denominator, we have the same oppressor. And that's what should work up together.
That is very correct. I think we simply don't control anything. We don't have a space program. As I've said it before, the Asians have the Chinese, the Indian and Pakistanis have the Indians, the Europeans have NATO and Russia. The Black people have got Nigeria, and we don't have a space program, and we don't. That is the thing. But it's us now. It's us, specifically us, the men. And see, the other day I was reading about the conditions that they gave the Germans during after they lost the First World War. They put conditions on them, about how they are going to have their militaries and their men. They have to serve a certain amount, so to reduce the power of the country, basically. And when I look at that, I ask myself, are we sure all the Black nations on earth, that's in terms of Africa, didn't sign up to this deal? Because it just look what they are all doing. They don't build powerful militaries. They just keep the military small.
Yeah, to Najee, back to sorry to cut you, my brother. That's what T. Kalik was saying. You're correct, because what it is, since something called independence, Africa, with a few exceptions, people like Thomas Sankara, Winnie Mandela, Dida Kimathi, the few warriors, Ben Bella, Gaddafi, African leaders have been a disgrace. We have to tell the truth. African leaders have been a disgrace. It's their cowardice and their refusal to industrialize. We're behind enemy lines, outnumbered and outgunned. Where's Africa's space program? India bought a space program in 1969 called ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Google it. India sent 100 probes to Mars 3 years ago. India, UAE sent a little probes to Mars 3 years ago. UAE, which didn't exist 3 decades ago. North Korea, a poor country, has 50 nuclear weapons. North Korea has a lower GMP than African countries. North Korea. Pakistan has 160, 200 nukes. Where's Nigeria's nukes? Where's that space program?
Within trinkets, we keep chasing trinkets. That's the problem. We keep confusing this in trinkets for power, until we listen and stick to it. That's why that's one of the reasons why I came on. That we really need to understand. We have to go after strategic things. This is life or death situation here. If we can't be distracted by anything, no sneakers, no Bluetooth, go after the strategic are important to this world. That without it, in short, from the ancient time, it matters and it still matters today. Things that will allow us to be part of decision making when it comes to the first world conflicts, in the first world decision making, we have to be there. Right now, people are talking about going to the moon. No black nation is in any of the conversation at all. None of us.
India's there. UAE there. China.
Yeah, UAE. Tiny UAE is there.
You know what's so interesting, man? When I look at Africa and I look at the African American situation, I see, and like I said, I don't talk about white supremacy much, but I do see the foreign meddling and the internal meddling. I do understand that if there was an African nation that was ever to rise, that was the rise for the benefit of their own people, and try to unite Africa to be independent of the West, they will be destroyed. And I see that happen with Gaddafi of Libya. I think the worst thing he could have did was give up his nuclear weapons, but I also understand that he was trying to have Africa to be independent of the West. And I also think the same thing will happen in the Caribbean. If any of those Caribbean islands would become a technological power, nuclear power, have rich resources and look out for the best interests of their own people, they will be destroyed too. And I think, this is what black people have to understand. Tariq Nasheed, that whole FBA ADOS thing, man, driving a wedge and not understanding that the enemy is kind of playing on both. I mean, they're keeping us divided in America. Like African Americans are very divided in America. And then I see them doing that on the economical level in Africa, where they will not allow that region to rise because they understand that the power that will come out of it.
Team, I come in. Team, I disagree with what you said. What you said annoys me. Allow. Listen, who are they? Are they Thanos? I don't want to hear that. Team.
That is a very, very good point there.
Slaves. We will rise. They're like, that's their. They can suck my black dick.
They don't need their permission to rise.
We will rise. They don't like it. They can suck my black dick. Public language, Dynast. Public language, Christy. Sorry, because I'm sick and tired of these people putting their necks. We need black men with character and courage. Look, we got enough of this nonsense about of being the resource supplier of the world.
Let me ask you: can Africa sustain itself without any Western or Eastern influence?
Absolutely. Without a single, it would be like a blessing if they lock them. If they just leave, it will be a blessing. So the problem is they just won't leave us be, and the point is we don't need their permission anyway. They too don't get permission from anybody. The Indians didn't take permission from them. They were about to go and attack India, like with boats and everything. The Russians intervened. The point is that nations are only as powerful as some of their enemies allow them to be too. If you make it so difficult that if they want to come after you, it's going to be so costly to them that their rivals will take advantage of them. Now you've changed the dynamics. You see what I mean? They are not as powerful as they appear because America is extremely powerful, but China is there, India is there, other nations are there waiting to take advantage. So it means that their power against you is not as big as you think it is. Yeah. You see what I mean?
So back at what you said, two lads. Just give me confirm what you just said. T. Hedek, if you remember, during the Zimbabwean War in the 1970s, it was North Korea that helped Zimbabwe beat the European squatters. It was Cuba that helped the African freedom fighters defeat the forces of Stephen Forster in Namibia and Angola. Russia helped us. So what we're saying is that, if we will rise up slowly, they'll come for us, but it won't be an easy victory. Because you have to remember, Africa's a continent, not an island. If we cut off their resources, they need their resources. Our cobalt, our bauxite, our coltan. Most of it's in Africa. If they mess with us militarily, we can inflict damage on them economically. We cut off their resources. We got the power in terms of resources. not militarily. That comes with industrialization. But that's because that is
if they attack the continent, if someone like me was anywhere near a decision maker, if they attack the continent, it would be the worst mistake they've ever made. I think you have to understand they couldn't take Afghanistan. Guess what the Taliban did? They were not confronting them head on. They just went to sleep and attack now and again. You will never land. You will make sure you don't own that land until you get exhausted and leave. Sooner or later, you will leave. So when we think that we are just that weak, we are not as weak as you think. And we also have access to, you see, just because they have nuclear technology doesn't mean you can affect their own continent. You have the ground, you have the ocean. See, people just don't think. You have to start thinking creatively on how to defend yourself in this life. And I can tell you right now, it doesn't take that much to be able to defend yourself.
Man.
You just need to change your mindset.
But yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Africa and FBA and men in general are in the same place, because I feel like a lot of FBA leaders will sell out to white politicians with a lot of money. And I'm trying to see, I'm not that familiar with Africa, but one can assume that if resources going outside of the country to Western or Eastern powers and resources being privatized, then one has to assume that the leaders are also selling out, just like African American leaders are selling out to Western money and influence. And it's like, that's the problem I think African Americans are going to have to solve in America, and stop accepting white dollars for, well, let's say if they do accept white money, just use it, build their businesses, and then let it go. But just to keep relying on it, like the HBCUs, like black media, it's just going to control the way we think. And I feel like I don't know if the same thing is going on with Africa, where the leaders are selling out for the money.
It's worse. It's worse. African leaders are a disgrace. I hate those stuff.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
I'm holding back to Niger. They're a disgrace because in Libya right now, in 2022, Arabs are still selling blacks as slaves in Libya. What's the ECOWAS doing about it? Countries go to war for less than that. In Saudi Arabia, they're still selling blacks as slaves in Mauritania. In 2022, African leaders, they're a bunch of gutless, spineless, fuck niggas. They're to be killed. I'm saying it straight. I don't pull no punches because they're
be careful before you go and get Dynas in trouble.
Okay, in YouTube, this is my comments. This comment says I belong to Dynas. This is my comments only. Brother Jeff and Brother Jacket, number one. If you want to see only FBI, come to me. I'll deal with you. If it's not sending your boys to Dynas, send them to me. This is my comment, my beliefs, not Dynas. Let me get legal caveats. Dynas, I'll present you legally now. Let me continue. So
I think the thing about African leader. Let me see if I can.
Listen, hold on, I gotta give this disclaimer. The thoughts and views of Jughead are not the thoughts and views of Search for Uhuru. All right, go ahead.
Just to be the devil's advocate for African leaders is one thing they do is that most of our citizens, they don't realize what it takes to be a leader in the context of Africa, because they don't understand the international dimension of it. They just think it's all tribes, and and many of them struggle. They really mean well, but when they get into that place, they find out that, oh my God, I have to deal with CIA. I have to deal with all these interesting, crazy people that if I don't do their bidding, all hell will break loose. And suddenly they find out maybe their own life might be forfeit if they don't agree to whatever they want to do, or they discover that their family members, they will kowtow very quickly. But they were never prepared. They went into a gunfight with a knife.
But
you're going to lose.
But okay, it's true, but you're being too polite. They do understand. They give them examples of courage above leaders. When in 1951 in Iran, Mohammed Mossadegh came to power in Iran in 1951, took oil back from Britain. When Hugo Chavez came in power in Venezuela in 1999, took oil back from the companies there. Gaddafi came to power in 1969, took oil back from King Idris, and they removed him. Why can't African leaders do the same? Why haven't they got the backbone and courage? And that's not an excuse to Niger. I'm not saying to that. That's not an excuse. I want leaders to show backbone and courage. Some will be successful, some will not. But they compromise. Ben Bella, Mohammed Mossadegh, Gaddafi, Chavez, Castro, Sankara, Lumumba. You can't. And I'm not saying you cannot compromise with these people. You cannot compromise. What's at stake to Niger is this: if it continues, by 2052, Niger, we'll be tenants on our own land. What happens? We're finished. Look what's happened last 5 years, Niger. We lost Tasmania, Australia, Middle East, Africa, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, and Morocco. If we lose Africa, we're done.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, man. Because I was very upset when Obama was used to take out Libya in the most just lies, talking about the people were voting against him. I knew that was a lie, but I thought that was symbolic that they used the first black president to do that. And I look at the African American sentiment, and it was almost as if they didn't care, like, or didn't even know the reasoning behind it, didn't even care to find out. And I'm just curious, what did Africans think about that when that happened, when the United States did that? Was there a similar reaction? Well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Who cares? Was it similar?
Yeah, because I said it now. The Nigerians don't think internationally. If anything, they actually think the international community means well for them. They actually, some of them anyway, they sure, quite a lot of them actually, they actually think UN means well. The Western powers mean well. They don't see them as rivals or even enemies. That is the problem. And you have to have the people start seeing it like that, that these people are not our friends. They are the ones, all our resources, all our hard work is ending up in their accounts. Once they start understanding that, then they will start becoming more suspicious and pushing back, at least making their leaders push back against what is going on the continent.
Yeah. See, Haddock, most Africans are retarded. And I'm saying it. I'm a Nigerian backer. Most Africans are retarded. They're like children compared to the European. They're so childlike and trusting. That's what they get us. We're like children.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. I just feel like we are worked on worldwide, man. Because I like I said, African Americans are a lot of them are very oblivious to what is going on overseas. Like, we can launch a war, an unjust war on an African country that is trying to do good for themselves, and say something like terrorists is taking over or the government is subjugating its people. And we wouldn't do anything because it's led by an African American or somebody's from the Democrat Party. And it's just that ignorance still with our media. And like I said, I don't know how the media is in Africa, but I don't even know if it's controlled like it is in America. But the frustrating thing is that with African Americans, we will sit there and support leaders who are very hawkish in going to war and subjugating other countries, but then complain about white supremacy and then how we are an imperialist country. Man, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's Black people all around the world. I don't know what it is. It's just that we don't do anything when things like this happen. It's either we are quiet or we just let it go. And I think that's what's keeping us from rising collectively.
But see what is basically, I'm telling you, Black people basically we're a race of cowards. No, most of us are a bunch of cowards. That's what it is. Cowardice and individualists. That's the problem. See, if it happens over there, we're not concerned. It still comes on our doorstep. That's the problem. That's how they get us, because we're cowards. Oh, Black people sold in Libya, that's not my problem. Black people sold in Somalia, that's not my problem. That's our mentality. That's what they get us.
Jughead, have you wondered why, like Nigeria, the most populous Black nation has not bothered to reach out to the diaspora, the African Americans and the Brazilians? It's occurred to me why. It's because many of our leaders were Muslims, and when they are Muslims, what tends to happen is that they don't tend to relate to the Western world as much. They ignore them. They see them as, they are Muslims, we are Christians, so what's the point? I don't know them. And this is why in this election, I actually want a Southern Christian, because even the Southern Christian is already talking about, the diaspora. The Nigerian diaspora is talking about the greater diaspora. But that is where it starts from. Because the Northern Muslim don't, like Buhari now, why would he, when he comes to Washington, he just goes to the UN, makes a speech and goes away. He doesn't even meet the Black Caucus, nothing. It's like they are not related. And some of those people in the Black Caucus in America might have genetic link with him if he does the DNA test. Because I met a Nigerian the other day. I was having a conversation with him. He said his family, his grandfather's grandfather, 7 members of his family to the diaspora. And when he went on to do his DNA test, and he was shocked how many people in America and in the Americas had his DNA were linked to him. So, but a Nigerian president will come to that country, no contact. It's like no care in the world, because he just sees them as Christian and Western people. He would rather go to Mecca, go to the Middle East to go and meet people. That thing, this is where the problem is coming from. In Nigeria, we need a Southern Christian president that relates to Western people. You are more likely to get engagement, because I think, because you are living in the African Americans are living in a country that is pan-European, and there is no pan-African policy within that nation. They make up about 13% to 14% of the population. That should start changing, because America as it is gaining a lot from the continent, your home continent, and you guys don't have any say in it. You guys, your country goes about torturing your home continent constantly. The same thing needs to happen from the continent. They understand that they have a greater diaspora that they've ignored for centuries. It's crazy. And it's really crazy. I can't even imagine a president of a country like Nigeria going to America, not meeting the Black caucus at all.
Yeah.
It's really strange. You have to admit that is voodoo.
So now, but it's not strange. We know that as well. As us Nigerian, you're more Nigerian than me. I was born here. You born in Nigeria. You know Nigeria more than I do. I've only been there 5 times. But we're still colony of England. Let's be real. And Nigeria's not sovereign. Nigeria's about sovereign as I am Chinese. Nigeria is as fierce sovereign as I am Chinese. Nigeria's not fierce sovereign. We're still set up the UK. Let's not fool ourselves. So
what is going to happen? What is going to happen if he decides to meet are they going to lock him in jail? But at least, see, I know, okay, yeah, we're not sovereign, but the way to start doing that is to start bringing it together again, because they have NATO, they have all kinds of associations to protect their interests, and we see our own interest, we just walk on like we don't know them. It's crazy.
That's because the people in charge of Africa are not leaders. They're not leaders of two Niger. They're plantation overseers. Africa's not free. Africa's one huge plantation, and those leaders are plantation overseers. They're not leaders. So that's why. That's the problem. Yeah. That has to be removed. I use the word removed and replaced with men and women of integrity. They have Africa's interest up. They want to come home to that. They want to come home. What is their purpose? It's because it's our fault. We've all not done our job as Africans. It's almost 7 decades of independence. That one country is industrialized. In Africa, that one country with a space program. Pakistan, a pocket has 16 nuclear weapons or 200 nuclear arsenal. North Korea has nuclear arsenal. India has a space program.
Yeah, and India had nuclear stockpile too. It's unbelievable. Only African countries didn't do it, and Nigeria particularly. I always call our own people out. I said, you are the most populous black country in the world and on the continent. And what have you done? Because most of the continent is looking up to Nigeria to do something. Yeah. Because if Nigeria can exert itself, Nigeria will be, the others their resolve will increase and they will be able to do more. But just keep moving one step forward, 2 steps backward constantly. And that needs to change. Believe me, that's why I'm engaging with the Nigerians on a daily basis, especially at this time when there's likely to be a transition, so that we can start getting more and more conscious about our needs. We can't keep expecting IMF to come and bail our countries out. All kinds of international weird organizations that don't have any of our interests at all at heart. We have to start becoming self-reliant. Fair. Many of our people on that one anyway, in terms of being self-reliant, they are beginning to think in that direction too.
But to know it's imperative, because I'm telling you, the Chinese are buying up land in Africa by acres as we speak. In India, I think T. Hennig mentioned it. India will be next superpower. Right now, there are 3 superpowers in the world: Russia, America, and China. India will be the 4th. India's coming up. India will be the 4th by the end of this decade. And they both need land. India's population 1.4 billion. They need land resources. Guess where they're looking? Africa. That's what I tell Africans all the time. I tell them that you don't know what is happening in the world right now. If the current flux that is going on in the world, if it settles, God help you, you are strong by that time. Because if you are not strong, that is a new Berlin conference that just happened again, and guess be dining on. We really need to be alert to it, and I think African leaders know this too. See, I think they know. My problem is that
whether they are moving fast enough. Because it's one thing to know, are you moving fast enough to head off the threat? I don't know, because African regions of Africa now, they are setting up standby forces right now, and they are also setting up counterterrorism force continentally. They are trying to do that now, but the problem is they are busy arguing whether the UN should oversee this thing or whether the African Union, as if that is even a debate. That is clearly should be African Union that should be deciding that, but the countries blocking it. Can you imagine saying the UN should be involved because they want the money from the UN? What do you need them for?
That's like the Israelis after saying to the Nazis, should we involve Nazis in developing Israel? That's insanity. It's like the Jewish state saying,
exactly.
It's madness.
But anyway, hey, hold on. Hey, one second. Shout out to Rodney for the $25 holla on the can you add the link? Yes, Christine. We'll love for you to call in, Christine. Links in the
I promise you, I'm buying your documentary this afternoon. I'm sorry, I forgot.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
Jughead. Right, I'm in work, as you can see. When I get home, I'm buying it tonight.
Okay, Jughead, do you work security, Jughead?
No, I do administration. I work for administration.
Okay. Amnesty
International. What is he doing there?
Okay. Be careful what I say, man, because I get the sack.
You didn't hear half of it he said.
So listen, shout out to Rodney for the $25 holla on the Cash App. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Yeah, I know the conversation has, taken a whole left turn or gone in a different direction, but I did want to, discuss something that Gaston said and that also T was saying. And I'll also ask for the men on the panel, especially you, Dynast, being, your lineage is the U.S. Around the world, ever since I was a child, or no matter where I go, I've seen men in leadership. Politically, I've seen them on the money. I've seen them fixing the roads. I've seen them cutting down the trees. I've seen them coming to my aid when I call for a police officer or from trapped on the side of the road. I've seen men bending nature for society to be able to function. Based on that role, am I wrong to say if the men in the Black community set the tone will be set and changed? Based on my just experience as a little girl growing up and seeing men in every area of life when it comes to anything, food, shelter, water, clothing, it has been all male-led, regardless of color, around the world, anywhere I've gone, whether it's the US, the Caribbean, or Africa, or Europe. Is it wrong to say if the men set the tone, the community will change, the women will change? What is your thoughts on that? And Dynast,
we'll let two Nigel answer because I know this is
I think they would definitely change, and because generally the women want the men. Women prefer men that are that demonstrate that they can control the environment. That is the entire purpose of a man, and unfortunately, the reverse has been the case. And the fact that we have managed to hold the communities together till now, it does. It's a test to the Black man to an extent, because we've held our heads up till now, but I think it's one thing to hold your head up, it's another thing to start building, and we have to realize this is not meant to be easy. It has never. I don't understand this where we expect everything to be easy. You have to choose. If you don't choose it, it will be chosen for you, and it will be for free. You will suffer for free. You see my point? So I think from what you have said, that women always follow where the men lead. All this talk about women saying, oh, they don't need rest of it is basically because men have done their job so well that the women can afford to say that they don't need men, which is very counterintuitive, as if the threats to humanity has ended. The entire universe wants to kill us. Men will always be needed because they are the risk takers. You can't have the women go in front and keep taking risks, because that will lead to extermination of that species. Men are always going to be needed.
Hold on. Hey, Jenny, you got to turn off the playback, Jenny. Jenny, you got to turn off the playback. All right, go ahead, Jenny. Go unmute yourself, Jenny.
Oh, hi, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, sorry about the early feedback. Yes, so I just joined like about 5 minutes ago, but I looked at the title of the show and what, I just took some, ideas about what the show is about from Chrissy that just spoke. So so I think what we're discussing here is, well, I may not be getting it really right, but like maybe men, kind of, women we're like in a society where women feel they don't need men, or men are maybe threatened by the current status of a Black woman in society, something along those lines. I may not be getting it right, but what I would blame the men first. A man is naturally created to be a leader from God. I'm a Christian, so I'm going to speak from that point of view. But even looking at the animal life, animal kingdom, the men take the male animals take the leadership role, the protective role, So I think Black men over time have found it, not all, but most of them have found it trying to look for the right word now. They found it easier for them to just say, oh, you know what? I want an independent woman. I want a woman who doesn't, she doesn't need me. She can have her own stuff like that. That's, and they would second the media and say, yeah, that's the new world we live in. The media is doing one thing on their own side and pushing that, narrative. And the Black men just find it very convenient to, go by that, or society. But this is about I'm just starting with the Black men. And now you have women who are doing things by themselves. You have women who are trying to be independent. Oh, a man doesn't want, he doesn't want a liability. Back in my country, Nigeria, that's what they say. Oh, no man wants a liability. You have to have your own about. And as I was growing up, I'm seeing you see some ladies who are not, they don't even they're not like wife material or anything really, which is not like any negative thing or a minus on their side. Everybody has their individuality. We don't all have to be the same. But you see them, they have great jobs. They have probably come from great families. Well-to-do families. And you see these men running after them. I'm telling you, that's what's happening now. So men are the ones who have swapped their positions. But they will come back and say, oh, the women are doing this. They don't respect the man. They're trying to emasculate the man. Da-da-da-da-dee. You know what? You guys just have to pick a side. You either want a real woman who, wants a real man. And a real man is somebody who's going to stand like a leader. She wants somebody she can look up to as well. Now, if you pass that to the woman, fine, that's what you get. She's going to be the man at the end of the day. And that's what we're seeing now. So I really don't agree when, I can't really be on the men's. I really want to be on the man's side. I say, hey, let's not emasculate men. Let's learn to respect our men. Let's learn to, give them, put them, all those kind of stuff. I would really like to be on that side, but I'm seeing the men, this is what they want. Now they got it and they're complaining. So I don't know. I may be wrong. That's just what I feel. And that's what that's my 2 cents.
Any man has ever signed up for that. But that said, obviously, if somebody is, they've got a lot of resources, you are likely to have, people gravitate towards them. Generally, human beings anyway gravitate to people that are wealthy and powerful. I think in the Western community, what happened was that the people that started acquiring a lot of this wealth, especially in our community, a lot of women started acquiring it. Hence, they took on that.
But wealth has always been there. Wealth is it's prehistoric. Wealth is always something that is, but if you go back to 2 generations back, or maybe during my grandmother's age, you see where men step up and they don't put all those financial burden or whatever on women. But now you have these men that say, oh, she's got to bring something to the table too, shamelessly, and I'm like, of course she knows she has to bring something, but you see men now coming out, oh, Does she have a good job? Does she just bring something to the table? I'm not gonna, you see that glaring. You even see the music, she got her own thing. That's why I love her. Isn't that what you guys are saying? So now you're getting what you asked for. Why are you guys complaining? Women now are taking the leadership role. So you guys got to live with it.
Seriously,
And they put that burden more on black women. That's why the term strong woman, especially in Africa, in America, strong woman. They want the woman to be strong. You guys have put yourself in that situation.
Oh, come on, man. It's not the men.
But it's a man like you that sang it. What's his name? Neo. It's a man like you.
Yeah, but if he sang it, doesn't mean most men prefer that. Go and ask men.
That's what I see. That's what I am. I'm a single lady, right? I'm a single lady over 40. I know what I'm saying. Okay, as I'm speaking from a woman's point of view in the dating scene. That's what you see now. A lot of men want women, first of all, who are financially independent. They're not looking for wife material. So you see, you have a lot of women now who are just, and a lot, women know that. They know that as well. And again, like I said, the media is pushing like, oh, she has to be making the black woman like, oh, the black woman has to be a strong woman. She has to be this and that. And the black men find it convenient to sing along. That's what I said. So that's what I see from my own point of view. You don't have to agree.
I'm not sure. No,
Yeah,
I agree with some of your point, but regarding men seeking it out, there are a few men. Okay, and about the men successful. Man is not going to go out there saying, "Oh, I have to have a woman that's going to come have something to offer." No, yeah, they will want you to have certain other things, but they are not going to. Their top priority is the woman has to come with a bank check or something like that. That is not it. Most men, even till today in Nigeria,
you wouldn't know. You are not a woman. You are not dating. You are not out there to date a man. So I am a woman. I'm out there dating these guys, and I'm telling you this is what they say. I even met one recently. Oh, she's got to have a high credit score. If not, I'm not even going to look at her. And I'm like, really? So, men, black men, you guys have to choose one. Whether you want, I don't know, or you want a woman that would take over your role, you have to choose one.
Well, you never do that. That's Jenny, my sister Chrissy. I have to go. Too large, love and respect. I have to go. But
yeah, we're gonna close out anyway. But hey, everyone, thank you for joining.
Is Jughead working in Amnesty?
Yes, sir.
Amnesty International. Yeah, he's working.
And you are saying all those things from there?
Yeah, listen. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. But hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, subscribe. Next time, Family Dynasty. Peace.
All right.